Just make sure this one comes up.
Shalom, call halal, YAHAWAH, Shem Yahweh, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well. Salutations to the elect brothers pushing the word and sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth. The elect brothers and sisters also listening and watching in sincerity and truth. And here we out another week, coming to bring out the word of prophecy and various things going on. But one of the main prophecies that is happening now in these last days is the arising and awakening of the children of Israel. See, that's a major sign of the destruction. That's a major sign of the end. Now, we know about the nuclear missiles, the martial law, the race wars, the earthquakes in diverse places. You know, that's essential too, but one major sign that the end is near is the rising of the sons of the Lord, man, and the daughters of the Lord, starting with the men of Israel, the children of Israel. You know, so that's a major thing, because when we was in Elizabeth, you know, there was, you know, with GOCC, different camps and different fashions, but that was Jake waking up. We had a dude jump out the truck, it's a rising truck, and stop and run over to us, and pre-pandemic, we had people who knew who we was, but like getting that type of love and recognition, that wasn't going on, man. You know? So you can who was in the 5 and 15. Because what, as more judgment is coming and hitting the earth, Jake is starting to wake up. And really right now, there's nothing going on in the earth. The Lord said he should send forth the apostles now. You know what I mean? The sports is trying to revive itself. But for a while, you just had us on YouTube, and the things we're saying starting to catch people's minds and what we're saying. You can read that?
Book of Hosea, chapter 5, verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
See, now Jacob's getting afflicted. They're getting killed left and right by the police. You know, they got all these atrocities happening to them. We got the pandemic that's happening, that's going on now. And they're losing their jobs and all of that. So now people is trying to seek and turn to the Lord. You know, but a lot of people going to get rejected, and some going to actually come in. Because what? The Lord can save you at the very last minute. Just like the male factor on the cross. You know? He was sitting and in that right split second of sincerity, you know, he was granted access to the kingdom. Just that easy. You know? So the smallest fuck up to grant you salvation, or the smallest good thing you do, the smallest fuck up to cause you salvation. And the smallest good thing you do to grant you salvation. You know, so then, hey, this truth could be scary, man. That's why you gotta be careful, you know.
It's book of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 9. It says, actually, you start at the top. I'm talking about the kingdom, you know, about the 11th hour. It says, for the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out about the 3rd hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. Again he went out about the 6th and 9th hour and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, why stand ye here all day idle? They said unto him, because no man has hired us. He said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. Hey, now just going to say this, man, because coming into this, like, we're at the end of the end. So brothers that have known the truth, you know, people that know the truth, especially the men, there's no need for brothers to be idle this time, man, because there's so much prophecy, so much things that's going on in the world that if you know the truth, if you're able to, break down and understand it, as Paul said, you're supposed to covet to prophesy. So people shouldn't be idle in this time. Whether you might not necessarily be a prophet yourself, but you could be a help to the prophets. You could send articles to brothers. Show different videos. Things that are going on in this world, because like God the Scripture says that the Lord is working. All right, it's time for thee to work, for they have made void thy law. So there's many different ways that you can add on to the ministry other than being a prophet. But you shouldn't be standing idle, because at the end of it, it says what? I'm gonna keep going. It says, but when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, these last have wrought but 1 hour, but thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden in the heat of the day. But he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst not thou agree with me for a penny? Take that thine is and go thy way. I will give unto this last even unto thee. And that's speaking about what? The kingdom, man. Because we're all going to receive the kingdom. It doesn't matter if you've been in it for 5 years, been in it for 25, 30, whatever. If you're doing the will of the Lord, and you're doing what the Lord, commanded us to do diligently, we're all going to receive that same penny, which is what? Ultimately salvation.
Which is good and good in itself. And then adding to that, it is bringing order to the kingdom. Because you got YAHAWASHI, King David, the 12 apostles, and so on, going on down. So you do got right to it. And when you look at it, when it goes into the talent, he said the one that was given 1 talent, turning into 5, he shall receive 5 cities. He said the one that had 1 talent and turned into 10, he shall receive 10 cities. You know what I'm saying? So it is a reward, it is a hierarchy of rank to the kingdom. But you don't want to get in a mentality that this person don't deserve it because he hardly been in it. He just came in. He ain't put enough work and he ain't even learned the 12 breakdown. Because this thing is about faith. Faith is going to get to the kingdom. The Lord not coming back like, oh, he's a new brother. He already knows shit. So I ain't going to give him the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? The Lord not coming like that. This thing is about faith. If you're a new brother, if you maintain your faith, and you be able to survive Jacob's trouble without taking a trip, and you show your sincerity in your outside your faith, you can go little to no scriptures and still be growing salvation. And I always tell brothers, it's the milk. You got the new scriptures, like the Revelations 20, the Daniels 11, the Daniels 7, and all of that. You got the new scriptures, which makes you kind of look good. You about you breaking it down. But what? The milk is what going to get you salvation. So what's the milk? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Thou shalt not, like simple scripture. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Let not the sun go down upon thy wrath. Don't hold a grudge against thy brother. Those basic love the Most High with all thy heart. You know what I'm saying? Those simple scriptures, and that's what's going to get you the kingdom. Now, knowing Revelations, the end breakdown of Revelations, I'm not saying that's insignificant because that's prophecy and it needs to be taught. But the Lord ain't going to come like, hey man, did you finish studying that last chapter on, you know what I'm saying, Revelation? If not, I'm going to chop your damn head off and I'm going to burn you to shreds. But he would, but listen, man, when your brother needed help or this situation, this and that, you had an evil eye towards him. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? So it's the milk, it's the basic milk scriptures that's going to get you salvation. The meat is necessary too, but it's the milk really that's going to get you salvation.
Ecclesiasticus 19 verse 24. He that hath small understanding and fears the Most High is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresses the law of the Most High.
That's self-explanatory.
Hey, man, what did Yahawah say? The law and the prophets, hang on these 2 things: fear the Lord, and love your neighbor as thyself. So you can have all the breakdowns, Google them or YouTube them, and be able to regurgitate them. But if you don't love your neighbor as yourself, if you don't fear the Most High, then you're transgressing, the main, the main thing where YAHAWASHI outside is commanding us to do. Like how the elder said.
You said it too, and that neighbor, and knowing that neighbor is a fellow Israelite too. That's what the brother said about the nation of Israel being built back up. That's our neighbors. And then when you just go into that word neighbor, it means brothers of Israel. Even today, because say what? Who came in here? What's his nationality? He was a brother. Who does that apply? Hey, brother. You know what I'm saying? Now, the other nations try to use it amongst themselves, but it really don't apply. Or the word brother and sister just means Israel. In this society, a so-called black, even though the Hispanics and the Native Americans is added to that, but that word brother refers to Israel. Even to this day.
Even might be saying, he's a brother. Instead of, they don't want to say black or nigga, they're like, he's
what's up, brother?
Yeah.
Appreciate it. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could move mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
Hey, so that right there lets you know that charity isn't in certain things. If he said, though I give to the poor, you can do that and still not have charity because it's within you. It's the actual love that you have for your neighbor, for your brother. How you actually view somebody. You can show, because you have celebrities do it all the time. They'll actually record themselves giving some money to somebody so that they can look good or something like that. But it's not about what you're, it is about what you're doing, but it's about your sincerity when you're doing these things, right?
Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 12. And if thy brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee. Right, so my brother is called a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman.
This is Ecclesiasticus with the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 27. Right? Send him to labor that he be not idle. Verse 25. If thou set thy servant to labor, if thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty.
And that's what's going to go up into raising up a son. Like if you watch the old Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, the father had him moving on the fucking Joe Jackson. He was like, take all these bricks from here and move them over there. Because that gave him like work to do. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got that idle time, see, you want to stay occupied, you want to stay busy. Like with kids, they would find demonic things to get into when they mind drift. And you would ask them.
Idle mind of the devil.
Yeah, they mind drift. And the brother, Mahar, when his son did something, he said he asked him like, what made you do that? And he like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because like you got boredom and idle, you just do some crazy, demonic, foul, crazy shit, and you be like, oh, and you just your mind drifting and going idle. So they said if you have a servant, you set them to work. Or a lot of people, their wives, taking like these wives and stuff, but they don't give them like womanly duties to like follow or do around the house. So what they'll do is they're doing the internet, they'll start doing things, their mind will start to drift.
It talks about them being busybodies.
Being busybodies.
They're not actually doing things that they're not being occupied in their household duties.
Right.
That's why women are supposed to be, have children, right?
And that'll keep them, that'll keep them busy. You know what I'm saying? Because you be like, oh, I got a kid, I got a baby, and if they have it decent, they'll tell you, I can't be partying and stuff. I got a son now, I got this to do, he got laundry, he keep me running, he keep me this, but I was like, I did all the house chores, he at work, and their minds start to drift and they get bored.
I mean, these kingdom, that's why a lot of women don't want to have children. The whole thing is like now finding a career and shit. That's how you get the term where they be like, one time all mental feet. Because they don't have no children, so what they think is to do is just go out abroad and just, do whatever the hell they want to do and be not a wife or a mother. Right. Their actual natural use.
Right, which is being wife as a mother is an action, not a title. That's an actual move. That's a verb, not a noun. That's something you actually live up to and actually do responsibility. You got to do that? Yeah, they say still want to get
I got a quick precept also. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 18. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. Hey, and what is the building? We're the church, we're the building. So that's why you're supposed to be, as YAHAWASHI said, the scripture says you're supposed to be occupied in prophecy.
Like your occupation. That's your
business.
job.
Yep.
Your business.
And if you're not occupying yourself, if you're being idle, it says what? The idleness of the hands, the house will drop through. Because you said, look at like an actual house. If you don't upkeep a house, what ends up happening? It starts to get moldy, starts to break down certain things. The hot water heater might not, work, things of that nature. So you got to continue to be active. You got to continue to be upkeep. And that's, spiritually talking about yourself in this truth, man. You cannot allow yourself to become idle, allow yourself to become lackadaisical. Because what did YAHAWASHI say in Revelation the 3rd chapter? The ones that are lukewarm, he's going to spew you out of his mouth, or the cold.
Finish that?
It's Ecclesiastes 33, verse 26. Let me start.
No, you can go.
A yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant. Send him to labor that he do not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil.
Right, so this is going to show idleness, like he says, the devil playground. So idleness also teaches much evil, So, and also on that point, when a car, say, especially diesel cars that take diesel gas, they'll tell you, like the ambulances and shit, they'll tell you can't let them idle, you'll fuck them up. When I used to do EMS work, but we used to tell them, like, yo, it's hot as hell, like, there's no runs. We weren't supposed to sit in a hot-ass truck without the AC running, but he was like, look, I know it's hard, you gotta find out a way, because you sitting with that diesel truck just sitting there like that idling, you fuck the engine up. Or any car, like, you best to like drive that shit than to just let it sit there idle. You might as well drive it and put 200,000 miles on it than to just let it sit there and do nothing with it. And it could be a straight up good car, but ain't nobody cranking it, ain't nobody doing like your car. Say you go on vacation for a month in the wintertime and nobody go out there and cranking and warming up, tap the gas a little bit, play the music, what'll happen? Your battery is down. And once the battery died, the other parts started getting rusted up, and the good car just go completely to waste because nobody tended to it. It wasn't active, right?
So I said, keep your body active also. When your body don't get active, you start to get fat, and you start to feel bad, you get blood clots. You do all that stuff.
Depression. And then what? The Lord called us living waters. Living waters is moving waters. And also, what the opposite of that is stagnant waters. And what happens when you get stagnant waters? You get mosquitoes. First you get dirty, bacteria form. You get mosquitoes. You get turtles. Like you're looking for turtles and frogs and shit like that. Go to some dirty ass pond that's green and that is no flowing outlet through it. You'll see mosquitoes, frogs, tadpoles, all those different type of abominable foods there. So that's what happens. So when you let yourself go idle, you get them demons around you, the mosquitoes, bloody rah-rah, your old friends, them blood-sucking mosquitoes that come like, I heard you had nothing to do. I heard you were just in here looking at the ceiling. They gotta come here to blaze you up or this and that. So it's the same thing through the spirit, man.
And that's why this wisdom is, I'm not trying to read it. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, let me start at verse 5, because it's all good. We'll start at 5. Get wisdom Get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Matter of fact, I'm going to jump up to what the wisdom is. The wisdom, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1. Hear ye children the instruction of the father, and attend to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. So that's really the wisdom to have. And that wisdom is going to give you more understanding to understand other things in life. Now, so you'll understand the things about your body and your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's not about just knowing it, it's supposed to apply it. You know what I mean? And like, you're supposed to stay active in this knowledge and wisdom. Because that's why I said knowledge and wisdom to be the stability of that times. Because we're not going to have there's nothing else to learn out here in this world that's going to keep you in the times to come. Because we in the last days of this kingdom. So everything you learn about this kingdom, you learn in this kingdom, is all depleting. Because this place wasn't meant to last forever. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, this truth, like I said, the brother says, it's living waters. So it's always this is always going to be around. You know what I mean? It was around in the time of Egypt, all the way up until the beginning of time, up until now. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about.
You got that 37? Yeah. This is the book of Ezekiel. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 1. Yeah. It says, the hand of the Lord that was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
Right, in the valley that was full of bones is America, man. You know? Because the scriptures tell you in Psalms 23, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and that valley of the shadow of death is what America, low valley means low land, and America is low. You know, morally, you know, sexually, morally, you know, the principles that say is real low. You know, you had the couple, it was a couple lesbian couple, but it was mother and daughter just got married. You know,
I think they just voted in a transgender into some type of Senate, not Senate, but like some type of congressional position, and somebody in like a state, I forgot what state it was. It's like a full-blown transgender, like drag, basically.
yeah. So, you know, that's the valley, and to prove that right quick, you can give me Isaiah 9 and 10, you can give me Psalms 23. Because Psalms 23, because through Psalms, the 23rd chapter, that's talking about America too. When you spiritually look, but see the church is quoted, but they fully don't understand it. Do you get that, bro?
Isaiah 9 and 2. The people that walk in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shine.
Right, and that's where here in America, because we walked in great darkness for a long time until this truth. The Lord has shed his light upon us with this truth. You know what I mean? And it said, they that walk in the valley, you got to read?
Isaiah 9 and 2. The people that have walked in darkness have seen a great light.
Yeah, and we have walked in darkness. Whatever walk of life we came from prior to this truth, we have seen a great light, and that's the what? The light of YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI said, I am the truth, the way, and the life. You know, no man coming to the Father but by me.
And that's why people are getting jacked up right now, because they stayed away from that. And that's why you have all this stuff happening to our people, the afflictions and oppressions and the cop killings and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Right, and the shepherd what? Watches over the sheep. And the Lord watches us over us through the angels, but also what? Through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that he gave to us to give us insight in this society. So we know how to maneuver through these times. You know,
You're making me to lie down in green pastures.
right, and the green pastures is what? It's true. See, they call the people in the church pastors. You know what I mean? They be like, when somebody in the church say, I'm your pastor, that means that comes from the word pasture, meaning I'm the one that's leading the sheep to the vegetation. Because the greenery is what's going to cleanse you. The greenery, like when you sit like dogs, they eat the grass. They eat the vegetation. When you sick, that's what it heals you. The kale, you know, the cucumbers, the spinach, you juicing all that, dumping all that. Hey man, that is like life reviving, man. When you take one of them organic smoothies, a nice little 16 or 32 ounce smoothie, and you take that down, you can actually feel it go down. It relivens you and freshens you up, man. So it said, he made me lie down in green pastures. So a true shepherd or a person that say he's your pastor, he's supposed to bring you to the green where the green vegetation's at, so the sheep can eat properly. But these people that's calling themselves pastors, they're not leading you to the green pastures. They leading you to that shit. They got dog piss on it. They got cat piss, cat shit on it, and that's molded and unfurrowed land. You know, that's where they leading you to. But that's where that word pastor, when someone say I'm your pastor, come from, meaning I'm the one that's guiding the sheep to where the vegetation is. But the vegetation is the doctrine of this truth that we teach, man, the true doctrine. That's the vegetation. Hey, man, even some of these off camps with those funny ass doctrines, they ain't leading to saying the chip not the mark of the beast and these different things. They don't know the name of the Lord. That's not the green pasture. That's not leading the sheep to the green pasture.
Shadow of death.
Yeah.
Keeping them backwards. Or keeping them in the shadow of death.
Hey, that's why Apostle Hahn said, look, there ain't nothing but a Baptist church over there with a lot of these other things. You know? Because you basically doing the same, you misleading the sheep away from the green pasture. But a true pastor will lead the sheep to the green, like, yo, I know where the vegetation at. I know where y'all can eat good at, you know, eat nice and healthy at. Some nice green, fertile land where you can be straight. Follow me. You know, but these pastors not doing that, man. They leading them to GMO food.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith Yahawah, power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you of your evil doing, saith the Lord.
There you go. That's just a beautiful preaching.
Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. Strength and salvation, and the fear of the Lord is treasure. You know, like I said, it's just, having that knowledge and wisdom and understanding, studying and showing yourself approved. And when you're doing that, you can decipher and see what's going on out in the world, and you can have an insight, a thorough knowledge and understanding of why things are happening in the world. Because you can ask, like, well, why is the Lord, bringing so much judgment on one particular people, but everybody else is good? Why is this one group of people catching hell and everybody else is good in this society? You have to see where you went off, what happened, what got us here, right, you know what I mean? What transgressions or whatever we did that brought us here to this captivity.
And these pastors, they're not doing that. They're not feeding those knowledge and wisdom. Because I got a precept to back that up. Jeremiah 3 verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which is mine, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding, so that you can ultimately have stability. Because these pastors, they're not feeding our people with the reasons of why we're in this condition, the reasons of why our people keep getting shot down. We keep, at the bottom totem pole of, economics, and everybody just shit on us. All they just keep saying is these, I have a dream, I have a dream. Also, the scripture tells you how they say peace when there is none. The true way to give peace is acknowledging your faults and returning and repenting back into your power. Not trying to march, not going to your enemy for aid, not going to the one who the Lord said He's going to set over you to destroy you, begging them to be friendly to what you're supposed to seek the Lord's face early, man. That's why when we read in the book of Hosea, they shall seek me early in their affliction. See, they've been trying to seek everything else. Been going to the Baptist church, Christianity, Muslim, Islam, Black Panther, gang banging. They've been seeking a whole bunch of shit, but except what they're supposed to do. Like there's a saying in the world that say, you tried the rest, now try the best. You know what I mean? And this is the only thing. This is the only thing, and only the elect is obviously going to get that knowledge and wisdom. But you people, our people are going to realize that they've been trying a whole bunch of BS this whole time, which has kept leading them to their destruction. And when they had the opportunity to come to what is the actual comforter, the actual thing to aid them to have salvation, they denied that. They rejected that. And that's why the Lord said, what? Then shall they call upon me, but I will not hear them. in there, and you know, they shall seek me, but they shall not find me.
Lamentations chapter 3, verse 38. Out of the mouth of the Most High, you seek not good and evil. Wherefore does a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins? Let us search our ways and try our ways and turn again to the Lord.
Hey, that's what Jake do. They be complaining about all that shit that's happening to them, but they don't ever want to actually change why this shit is happening to them.
Not even go deep to the Most High, even small shit. You know, like, listen, if you want people to start taking you more serious, why don't you pull your pants up on your life? I mean, why don't you stop dressing like a nigga? Jake only, forget, not saying it's insignificant, but like, let's put the Most High on the back burner. Jake don't want to change small shit. Like, yo, why don't you stop using so much? I mean, why don't you stop cursing 4 or 5 times? Don't call cursing every sentence. Why don't you dress a little more presentable? You know what I'm saying? Why won't you stop getting agitated and aggravated at every time somebody disagree with you? Jake don't want to change shit like that. You know?
Well, how I say, if you can't understand earthly things, how can you understand heavenly things?
Yeah.
Jake can't even get right on the cardinal level. You know, they don't even want to try to get right on the carnal level. How you expect the Jake to get right on the spiritual level? And that's why you got a lot of people talking about we need to gather the whole nation. The whole nation ain't got that mindset, man. The whole nation ain't even, they know that scripture says my people are foolish. You know, they don't even got the small things to even better their own lives personally. They wake and bake, you know what I mean? Or wake up and get drunk the whole day. Scripture tells you know, woe to him that arises early and get drunk. But that's all Jake is wanting to do, man. Like that scripture pulled out last week, that folly of joy to them, man.
Yeah, that is
That's to the wisdom. And that's Esau. So like, and that Esau made Jake destitute of wisdom, because they going after the ways of the carnal, after the ways of the lust of the flesh. That's what this world, that's what Babylon, that's what Esau's age only appeals to. It appeals to your flesh. So anything that you can do carnally that's gonna feel good, Esau gonna put it out there, and Jake, the majority of Jake, the wicked Jake, gonna eat it up, man.
like we brought out the word entertainment. Like entertainment of your mind. They taming your mind through bullshit, which is distracting you from what's really going on.
And I got a piece of too, because that actually goes into the attainment of what these devils set up to have a people stay in the dark. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy, saying to them, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves, should not the shepherds feed the flock. And that's what we're talking about. That these fake ass apps out here, they're doing the will of Esau. They're not doing the will of YAHAWASHI outside. Because if they was, they would tell you that you're the Israelites in the first place, and they would tell you why you're going through what you're going through. They wouldn't tell you that everything is going to be all right eventually. Everything's not going to be all right eventually in America. That's the whole thing. That's why the Lord said, woe to the devil, because you're leading people back into the, like I said, leading them back to the shadow of death, man. You're not, you say not giving them to the green pasture.
Maybe if I rotate it.
In verse 2,
okay, that's what you're saying.
you eat the fat and you clothe you with the wool. You kill them that are fed, but you feed not the flock. The disease have you not strengthened, neither have you healed that which is sick. And how are people sick? They don't have the knowledge of YAHAWASHI. That's why the Lord said He set up the apostles.
You got screen lock on?
But those gonna be the men that's actually giving healing the people, because it's not about like healing that you sick like medically, but like sick like you're blind, you don't know what's going on, and you don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. You know.
I guess you can't flip it.
Neither have you bound up that which is broken, and our people are broken. Neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have you sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. So basically with the lies, man. Because that's the cruel lies, man. That's how our people are ruled. They're ruled by these pork chop pastors, these other religions, these other heathen gods, and that's what our people are into, and all the bullshit folly of America that America has to offer, man. Everything about appealing their flesh, everything's about just doing what you want to do, when in Rome type shit. That's it.
Chapter 3, starting from verse 9. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life, and give ear to understand wisdom. How has it happened, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land, that thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled
Again, that thou art counted with them that go down to the grave. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom, for if thou hast walked in the way of God, thou shouldest have dwelled in peace forever. Learn where wisdom is, where strength is, where is understanding, that thou mayest know also where is length of days and life. So that's pretty much it. Like, this is not this is basically what the Christian pastors or any
I don't know if it's because those how we usually record it the other way.
about you giving wisdom and actually
I don't know why they do that. You could just probably do it now.
And like the elder said, it's not in, it's not it's not something heavy that you have to get into, or some mystery that you have to discern or figure out. But it's little things in the scriptures. Okay, it's little things where you can get into, where and it can help you, boost your spirit and actually, free your. I don't know how to make it better with the little things in the scripture that gives you salvation. The milk, actually, right? The milk. So it's actually simple stuff, man. And that's pretty much all I have to give.
But the Lord doesn't ask much.
You got that 23 song? Finish that.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul.
Yeah, because it's truth. It restores you. It recreates you, recreates you. And that's what and on the physical level, that's what the juices do. The greens, the kale and all that, Hey, the next holy day is the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah, and that's what rededicating the temple. But spiritually, you rededicate your physical temple and try to get try to go on a flush, a fast, because our physical temples is polluted through a lot of bullshit we eat. So around the time of Hanukkah, even though we physically in the history rededicated a physical temple, our bodies is our temple, and we should get periodically, if brothers don't do it around that time of the year, go on some type of cleanse or some type of flush and rededicate your physical temple back to the Most High, man, by trying to take some type of greens or trying to just live a little healthy.
Yeah, when you fast, and even like scientifically they say when you fast, I really say like 2 or 3 days that your body basically reset. Like all your, they say your hormones are balanced out and like your blood is flowing correctly. You know what I mean? The glucose levels, I believe, something with that. Like it's a bunch of stuff that happens when you fast.
And your organs get a chance to rest. Because when you're eating, your organs and drinking, your organs is constantly working. What makes them work by you putting food in it. But if you're not putting food or water in it and you fasting, your organs are actually taking a break.
The blood flow.
You know what I mean? So if your organs like, okay, you know what I mean? That's like you drive your car for 3 weeks straight. You're going to want to let it, even if it's a new car, you're going to want to let it like chill or cool off or take some type of breather, a little break period to get some type of rest in. So that's what happens with your organs, when you go on a fast, they not fully, I mean, you up moving around, so they working, but it's not like they working like as far as breaking down food and transferring it into this hormone and taking oxygen from here and taking it there. Your organs not doing all of that. You chilling. So they get a chance to actually take a break.
Recuperate.
You recuperate. Done. Want to finish that, bro?
You want some sleep.
He restored my soul. He led me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
Hey man, we hardly see bees, so you don't even want to kill them.
Yeah,
like,
right.
shit, you might be like the last one.
Last of a dying breed.
He looks sick a little bit,
Verse 4, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Yeah, and the rod is what? The word. And the staff is the tool used to guide the sheep. You know what I mean? So that, and what's used to guide us is what? The word, the comforter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it said what? Thy rod and thy staff comfort me, which is what? The word of the Lord, man.
Spirit.
The Holy Spirit, man. That's what give us comfort in. A lot of scriptures, brothers be dropping, be faith boosters, and so on, man. So that actually comforts you. You got that Ezekiel, jump back to that Ezekiel 37. And I'm past, what was it, verse 3?
I wasn't in Ezekiel. I go to 37.
No, I just give it to him.
Yeah.
I think where you was at, verse 3?
Yeah.
3? Okay, Ezekiel 37, verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord Yahweh, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, ye hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
Right, and when that breath came, ultimately was now, because our people stood up on their feet during like the 60s and 70s against the system, but they didn't have the truth in it.
Nope.
You know, we know.
And thus saith the Lord Yahweh, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. Verse 6. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Yeah, and that's where that you get that song, the hip bone connected to the thigh bone, and because that original song when it first come on, it said Ezekiel connect those bones. Then not the latest one, the original one from the 50s. And it said, and when it first come on, it said Ezekiel connect those bones. Then the song come on, the head bone connected to the neck bone. But that whole song is really based off of Israel. People, a lot of them old spiritual hymns be tied into like the truth. You know, swing low, she chariot, she'll be coming around a mountain. All these, songs be having a lot of truth history, like towards them. But those are awakening up of the bones, and that's what's happening right now. We know.
Verse 7 of Ezekiel 37. So I prophesied, and as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone.
And that's like the waking up, you know what I'm saying? Because when you shake, it was a rumbling. And when you get something shaking, it causes what? Friction. And once you cause that, like if you shake your hands together, that's called, your hands will get hot. Or you rub two sticks together and shake it, and it eventually starts smoking. And once the smoke comes, you start blowing it and fanning it, and that's when you get that fire. You cause the fire. So that shaking is what? That actually waking up, and the actual friction that the Lord is causing amongst Jake. It's stirring up your pure minds. It's a major shaking it going on right now. See, he ain't just wake him up and put it. He said it was a shaking. Matter of fact, somebody probably could blue letter that and see what type of edification of that come out on a blue letter.
Because some simpleton, like, they try to twist it, saying like, oh, I'm trying to wake up some bones, like a skeleton, like a bunch of skeletons came to life, and it was like, nah, I mean. But really, it's about like the spirit coming on the people that was dead, being us, the Israelites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that was dead in the spirit.
Getting shook up. He said, "Well, I will sift the house of Israel." As corn is sifted in the seed. So, hey, even a lot of Jakes now, like as I go, be working and shit, going through these different boroughs, a lot of these Jakes becoming like more brotherly in a sense. I mean, they kind of a little more, cause, hey, Esau been killing niggas, so niggas like, hey man, shit, we all we got. Yeah. So Jake seemed like they were like sticking together. They still had them niggerish ways, but they just seemed like they
simmering
got more. They simmering down.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I mean, it's not like yo nigga or this and that, or it's like I seen it. I actually seen Jake like pacing and calming down on certain situations, and I'm like, yo, through all what's going on and what's happening to our people, Jake coming to their mind like, listen, we got to stop treating each other so fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
So this is the Hebrew word for shaking is ra'ash, which says quaking, rattling, shaking, earthquake, quaking, trembling, shaking, quivering. Go to Strong's definition. It says vibration, bounding, uproar, commotion, confused noise, fierceness, quaking, rattling, rushing, shaking. And that thing about the vibration, that's heavy right there.
Yeah.
Because that vibration of this truth is going throughout the four corners. See, that's when the YAHAWASHI said that then this gospel shall be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, and then shall the end come. Well, you had Christianity been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Islam has been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. But this, as Apostle Paul said, he set up the apostles last, right? The Heavenly Father set up the apostles last. this has now been preached about the four corners of the earth, and it's a vibration. You got people that don't really even know much about Israel, but they say, well, we the Jews, or we the chosen people. You know, they might not know breakdowns and things of that nature, but there's awakening, going back to what this whole chapter is talking about. And that vibration of Israel is everywhere, to the point where people will walk by you and know, like, oh, y'all Israelites? Like, it's already known. You know what I mean? People don't really say, oh, y'all Muslim. But you might get a simple nigga here and there, but they say that a lot. You know what I mean? But now it's like, what, y'all Israelites? Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, we the Israelites. You know, so that vibration is going out. And the vibration is really what the spirit. Because it's the spirit, as the Lord told Ezekiel to prophesy into the wind.
That's the only way they would know is the prophets is out there.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Before the YouTube, and brothers out here on the streets preaching. You know what I'm saying?
And they said amongst like Negroes, this will be like bigger than Islam in like the next couple of years.
And it got quick. It's
Yeah,
quick.
not Islam globally, but Islam amongst blacks.
That's all that
You
matters.
know, but he said this would be like the fastest growing religion amongst minorities.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people know that church shit is off.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the youth, they know that like that church shit been dragged through the mud so much, you know, through these different comedians and so on, and just
the scandals
just
in
the
the church.
scandals
Happening,
and all
like,
that.
yeah.
People, only thing that's really left in the church is like homos, old women,
Stuck in their
single
ways,
women. That's stuck in their ways. Other than that, once that generation die off, that's it. And you constantly got Jake attacking the churches, pulling members out. You got Jakes that believe in his truth, and the Lord got spirits on them to go in the churches to convince and to snatch members up out of it.
Hey.
So they losing people like at a phenomenal rate.
My mom told me, you know, she's been in church for 30 plus years, and she said that she's not getting fed, you know? They're not getting any, it's always the same thing about this year is your year, or the new car, or the new house, and, you know, so on and so forth. And she was just like, she wants to actually have the Bible open and broken down scriptures. Like, she wants to be able to understand the in-depth scriptures that is being talked about. Because what do churches do? What do pastors do when they sermon? They read God so loved the world, or they'll read Psalms 23, and they'll close the book, and it'll be like 5 pages of their own thoughts. You know what I mean?
Or
there's
they'll
no
take
precept
a
upon
story
precept.
and give a moral lesson from it.
Yeah.
That's their whole sermon. They'll read universal scriptures. If Jesus didn't do that, and they'll crack jokes. A lot of them crack a lot of jokes, because what humor does, humor is it deguards somebody. Say if somebody was simple as hell, you come around like, look at that brother, he got an egghead, and brothers start laughing. Humor breaks people's guard.
Deflects.
Yeah, it deflects. So when it's actually a war tactic. If you could use humor that'll like, and people start laughing, it'll put people off guard where you can attack them or catch them from like a blind spot. That's why like a lot of serious dudes, they don't like people that clowns or that joke too much, because at times if you real militant or militant enough, you'll be like, yo, this dude trying to come around and crack jokes to get us to lighten up. You gotta watch that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because humor is used as like the brother said, a deflector, man. You know?
Oh, I saw a meme that said, funny, it was a chick, right? She was like, you gotta watch out for guys that are funny. You know, like they're dangerous, because you'll laugh, and next thing you know, your clothes are off. Basically saying they use comedy to make you like them and let your guard down, and next thing you know, you know what I'm saying, they're already up in that.
Yeah, and that's a good way to get the, as far as deception and get the girl, is through comedy, because you make jokes and get her. You know, hey, you be like, hey, let me take you around the corner and hit it from the back. And if she be like, what? And you could be like, nah, I'm just joking.
Hey,
you know, or you could be like,
what you gonna say?
unless your pussy stink though. And you know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, ah! Oh, you know what I'm saying? But if she be like, what? And you just go with, you know,
Well, it's like Nelly in that song. He said, I got a friend with a pole in the basement. She said, what? He said, I'm just kidding, like Jason. He's like, unless you're gonna do it.
Hey, Chris Tucker, Money Talks. He was like, let me borrow $1 million. Remember with the wife and shit, the Italian mob dude? He's like, let me borrow $1 million. Nah, I'm just What you gonna do?
Yo, that's the thing. And women say that. Women say that the two things that they look for in a man is a very strong sense of humor, and you know I forget the other thing, but I know a sense of humor. They say if you get a woman to laugh,
It's
know what I
half the
mean? You in
battle.
there, you have the battle, exactly. You know what I mean? So,
Hey, this a quick article, I'll never forget it. It's I think Apostle Gilbar brought this out over a year ago. I'm gonna bring it back. This from the New York Times. It says a quiet exodus while black worshipers are leaving white evangelical churches.
oh, I got a testimony to that.
Fort Worth, one second, brother.
That's good.
Caramel Pruitt wrote the names of 12 churches on a sheet of paper, tore the paper into 12 strips and dropped it into the Ziploc bag. It was Sunday morning and the time was to pick with the Sunday morning and the time to pick which church to attend. This time of the week 2 years earlier, there would have been no question. Miss Pruitt, 46, would have been getting ready for her regular Sunday afternoon worship service at the formerly grocery store overhaul into a state-of-the-art 760-seat sanctuary. In the darkened hallway, it would have been hard to tell she was one of the few black people in the room. She would have listened to the soaring anthems of the praise bands. She would have watched on 3 giant screens a sermon that over the course of a weekend would reach one of the largest congregations in the country.
And they doing a lot of gimmicks churches
See,
now.
y'all
too.
brothers can check it out yourself.
I know
But
I've seen that.
it's type long, but
Yeah.
you can check it out yourself. But the point is how that a lot of people is leaving the churches now. Most of them not going to Israel, but they know, like, listen, I'm done with this shit. Y'all over there, I ain't getting with that neither. But this shit, enough is enough. So a lot of people just like not, because after a while, it's just like everybody know they rip people off. Everybody know they not telling the truth. And every sermon is either some universal scripture or they would take a story like King David, David and Goliath.
You gotta
and
kill the Goliath in your life.
Goliath. See, there's a Goliath somewhere. Huh? Do you see where I'm going with this? Do y'all see where I'm going with this? Because David took the rock. See, it wasn't the rock and Jesus. Who else was the rock? We standing on the rock because the rock is solid.
Then you get the organ.
Then he signaled the piano boom.
Nah, they literally legit. They fire organ players if they not on beat with the pastor. Like if the organ player not like, yo, if you're not hitting it when he hitting it, then you're like, yo, you're not good. They'll take him in the back. They'll talk to him like, yo, you gotta be ready to go. When I'm here, you gotta be there with me because you gotta get the people
Like
going.
yeah. He gotta, and it's not. I seen a pastor actually signal him. He signaled him. But it was some quick shit. He signaled them to like, he switched it up to the music. He was like, cause it goes from like a sermon, then at the end of the sermon, they go into the music.
Bringing
And
that.
but it can't be like broken up. That shit gotta
flow.
flow.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he was like he was throwing signals like 3, 2. No, but it was fast though, and that dude, they Jake. Boom, boom, boom. Then it calmed down. And
that's when they bring that collection plate through.
And they
While
spin that
while the
shit.
spirit's still flowing, everybody who got $100? Who got $100? Who was blessed today? Who got $100 if they was truly blessed? That's that's sorcery, man. That's exactly what that shit is. That's legit witchcraft that's be going on in them churches, man.
And that's why I said that woe to them, because it said they feed themselves and not the sheep. Because that's what they're doing when you go to these shows. Well, there are shows. When you go to these churches, they're giving you entertainment, and then you're paying them for it. So it's like you're going to like a damn near concert or something, because the shit's run like an hour or two. You know what I'm saying? And you go in there, you're hearing a bunch of bullshit, shit that's not gonna apply to your life, and then you paying for it.
And some of them do like 3 sermons.
Yeah.
Like they
Just
do
like, just like a concert.
Yeah.
And they'll have the what do you call a concert? The people that come out before the main event?
Opening act.
The open act. So they have the choir sing.
Yeah,
they might have some praise dancers, and then the pastor, the pastor's coming out. He go on the pulpit. Everybody rise up and shit.
Guest speaker.
Yeah, guest speaker. bring out man. Hey, man. And we can attest, majority of brothers, we grew up in church, man.
Yeah,
that all that BS Christianity, man.
Over 10 years.
This is the slide. This is the only thing that actually gave us the wisdom and knowledge, man. I ain't never had a time where I've said, yo, man, that was just some real edifying meat that I got, man.
Learned a lot.
But when brothers do videos, when brothers come out here, you gonna see the sheep say, "Oh, thank you so much, the water, for the edifying, for the knowledge, man." And that's what the Lord, and that's the Spirit of the Lord, because the Scriptures tell you that the Most High is a God of knowledge.
Right.
If you're not getting knowledge, what the hell? What are you going for? Like the brother wants to say
I'm
something.
gonna say for testimony. You know, like the churches, like the churches. You notice there's a lot of women because they're the weaker vessel. They're the ones that you can control, you can manipulate, and so forth. And I was working with this pastor when I was before I got laid off, and he used to be a pastor, whatever. And he said that how he would have to he would have like what they call it, where they would counsel the couples and stuff like that. There would be times where the women will have to talk to the pastor, and if the husband is not around, he could be working with whatever. So she'll go into his office, and then they'll talk. But he said he had to make sure he had to leave that door open, and the conversation was recorded, because they can say, oh, he tried to touch me, this, that, and third, because she's vulnerable. He's coming. Oh, my husband, he ain't making much money. His ride don't get up no more. I'm he's not satisfying me. And then you sit up there listening to all this, and then you trying to give us some soothing words, whatever. But you got to be careful what you say, because then they're gonna be like, oh, you know what I mean?
That's
off anyway. That's off anyway.
That's how you know it's spirit.
I don't not.
That's all, because what?
We all said the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, yo,
They tell
marriage
these
counts,
women
right?
like, you can't marry another man, or you can't date nobody unless he's a Christian, because now that allows them to get two people to pay them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if you a man, the Lord set up a man to be leaders. You are your woman's spiritual leader. You know what I'm saying? That's why men had to grow a certain extent. They had to grow in like that. Because when you take on a woman, it ain't no boyfriend shit. You approach a woman, you looking to have a wife and the kids. You trying to man, it was no boyfriend shit like this society puts. Listen, you trying to tolerate at my daughter, nigga, you trying to be a father then. All right, what you do for a living? That's how Jake was coming, like, yo, what you do for a living? You got assets, you got some type capital, where you work at?
Property.
You know what I'm saying? What you know? You believe in the Most High? You could guide her? When your kids start to grow up, what you gonna teach her to teach my grandkids? Oh, you don't know nothing, nigga? Get the fuck out of here. Don't let me see you again. I'm gonna have my son tighten your ass up. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Jake was coming, like with their daughters. It was, listen, if you approached a woman, you was taking on fatherhood. You was taking on, like, it was no like, yo, I'm just trying to holler at you. Or Jake used that term, I want to get to know you. But we know the word know means sex in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? But Jake used it now, not knowing what they saying, like, yo, shorty, I'm trying to get to know you a little better. But really just saying I want to smash, but it's responsibility that comes with that, you know?
That's part of breaking up other family.
I got a quick precept to what the brother has said. It's 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6. It says, I'm gonna start at the top because it's all good. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sin, led away with diverse lusts.
That's everything in one.
Yeah.
That's this whole world. This whole world.
That's these churches.
Yeah, churches definitely. Yeah.
Man, silly women led away. Because listen, man, you supposed to lead your woman. No other man, I don't care in no other type way. Your woman going to a church giving away your money to this other man. I don't care who you think he is. Your woman shouldn't be paying another man y'all money.
They get into arguments. They be like, "Oh, Pastor needs me." You know, Pastor needs me.
Yeah.
But like,
The big
you over here
praise
cooking.
dancing.
You over here cooking for him, but you ain't cook for your own husband.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they get dressed up. They wear all that shit and get dressed fly. They dress all fly and nice for what? Pastor. But you're right. They don't do that at home. Then also, she could pay $5,000 in tithes in a year. But if you ask her for some money, you less of a man.
Yeah.
But listen, you the man. If somebody broke in the house, who gonna go downstairs and check who it is? If a serial killer broke in, who gonna stand up and die for you? If a man pinch your ass, who gonna go and approach that man and check him out? Listen, I'm the man you dealing with that's risking everything dealing with you. When you get sick, your pastor not going to heal you. He probably don't even come check on you. He might say some, put up a prayer for Sister So-and-so. She's sick, and continue on what he's doing. Listen, I'm putting my whole life on the line, my resources, everything. I'm sleeping with you every night. I'm the man that took you in as my wife. I'm the man that'll die for you. But if I ask you for money, I'm less of a man. But you could give this motherfucker that's telling you lies $5,000 a year. But if I say, listen, I need $1,000 to invest in this to better the family, I'm a scumbag. And that's the double standard of that shit. That shit make me mad, man.
Yeah, and it should, man, because this stuff is supposed to.
God, if I may say, there was actually an incident that happened in the church where this woman, she was in a choir, right? And she doesn't come to choir practice a lot. And the pastor was telling her, look, man, you got to stay for practice even after church. And she was saying, nah, after church, my husband gets home, he works overnight, he comes home from work. And he needs food, he likes soup. And I need to make it and prepare it when he gets home, he can eat and sleep. And then this pastor made a whole sermon about her, right? About how, you know, you're supposed to love the Lord first, you know, all of that, you know, you know, invest your time in the church and all that. Basically telling the woman she's a wicked person for doing that. That's why, like the brother's saying, there are no men in the church. The only men in the church you see are the clergies, the pastors, and the ushers and the instrumentalists.
Homosexuals.
And then the people, the men in the congregation that aren't working for the building are the ones that marry the women, okay, boyfriend, you know, husbands, because they like the woman and the woman drag them to church. That's all it is.
You got chicks that divorce.
Yeah, God.
And the pastor remarry her to another man in the same church. Hey. 3 years ago, you married her, she got divorced, and now you're doing another marriage to her with another man.
Yeah, and off of what this brother said, because you said she was taking care of the husband,
yeah,
right?
She was taking care
How
of
you gonna say that she wicked for doing that when that's what the Lord said to do? A woman's supposed to tend to her husband.
I got a precept. 1 Timothy 5, verse 14. I will, therefore, that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after saying.
Yeah, that's the pastors.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's an adversary move.
If they learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home.
So the man is supposed to be out learning. And actually, back then, we learned it from our fathers. Because that's how the Lord set it up. The fathers learned the law from their fathers, and they taught their sons and children.
And that's why it was important for a man to pave his own way as a man before he seek a woman. You know what I'm saying? You had to get, before Jacob got with Rachel, he worked 7 and 14 years. He had capital, he had bread. He was able to provide a place for her to stay and do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? He had to know shit to teach her that, all right, she's not going to be going to church. She going to take on your God. You got to teach her about your God. So men ain't had time to be like bullshit and doing nothing. You got to grow up to be a man. You got to grow up to lead. And you got to have shit upstairs, and you got to have some type of capital or some type of investment, whether either passed down or things you saved up to how you going to hold down your family. All this fucking folly and bullshit ain't what it is.
You want to go back to Ezekiel?
If I'm gonna say real quick, that's also important as to why you as a man got to be rooted, because Rachel, she wasn't believing in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because remember, I don't remember too on point, but she had like an idol or like a picture sign she tried to hide and bring it along and so on and so forth. And then the Lord shows you through when the Israelites were going through, you had a Moabite king that sent these women, I think it was the women of Bashan, to come and try and sway Jake into that stuff.
Yep.
You know, because that's why the scriptures say that the tabernacle of the Most High is with men.
God.
So that's your duty as a man.
Actually got that precept. I got a precept
Because
regarding
men
that.
don't practice selecting responsibility. You see, we get on the woman, but men got to practice accountability and responsibility. And that's what this society don't teach. Oh, this happened because Jake like to blame people. And every time you blame people, you take the blame off of yourself. And therefore, you can't look at yourself because you don't think it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? That's the bad thing about putting the blame on somebody else. But men got to know responsibility and accountability. Yeah, Eve did this, Eve did that, this and that. But what did you do wrong to help contribute to that? That's what you also should be looking at.
Oh, that's all good. This is Isaiah chapter 46, verse 8. It says, remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me, because that's our whole point. If the Lord chose us to follow what his program is, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's the way that men came up, and they became men, and they knew understanding of how to live their life. Because this society teaches you what we talked about last night. We was taught education, but education of what though? Where we getting educated? We get educated with Esau's doctrine, Esau's philosophies of life. Now we're not getting indoctrinated what we should have been indoctrinated from the beginning. Our fathers didn't, their fathers didn't. Remember this whole thing when the Lord said He discontinued Israel from their heritage was generations ago, man. So like we've been off like on a whole nother way that is leading to our downfall. That's why you live. That's why the way our people are living in America is the way it is, because we strayed away from that years ago, thousands of years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I had a precept. I'm trying to look for it in the book of Job.
Actually got something too. I don't know, you found it? I got something too.
Yeah, you bring yours up.
This is the book of Ezekiel. I'm back in Ezekiel chapter 15. Oh, excuse me, it's 16, Salakia. I'm going to start at Ezekiel chapter 16, verse, I'm going to start at the top. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, call Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, and Jerusalem being the people first, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahawah unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother was a Hittite. And jumping down, I'm going to go to where the Lord, the point. It says, verse 11, I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck. And I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thy ears, and a beautiful crown upon thy head. Thou wast decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk, and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey, and thou wast exceeding beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom. Now basically that was back then, but that's how we supposed to be living. And we was living like that because what? We was more in tune with YAHAWASHI. Now, fast forward, jumping down to verse 15, but thou didst trust in thine own beauty, and playedest the harlot because of thy renown, and pouredest out thy fornications on everyone that passed by, his it was. And of thy garments thou didst take, and deckedest thy high places, and with divers colors, and playedest the harlot, thereupon the like things shall not come, neither shall it be so. And how we play the harlot? We play the harlot with all these other philosophies and all these other things that we've been coming up in, aside from this truth. That's why our people are like the way they are, and that's why the Lord continues to jack us up. And thou also taken thy fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I had given thee, and madest to thyself images of men, and didst commit whoredom with them. So like you just said, the chick had the picture. That's all our people doing right now is hanging up idols and following a bunch of wishy-washy BS, man. They're not following the Lord. They following everything else under the sun. That's why the Lord said, well, I'm going to jack you up because what? He is a jealous power. So if you're following everything besides him, it don't matter if it don't matter if the God is not as evil as the other God. It's not your God. These other guys that our people are following is to their downfall. And that's what it's continuing going. It's never going to be up for them when you following these idols, man. It's always going to be down. If it's not YAHAWASHI, you always going to be down, man. No matter where you at. That's why I said everybody that saw him. So these other nations see that. They know that our power is with YAHAWASHI. But since we're not doing that, they see, oh, they want us to say like that because we're going to be under them. You know what I mean?
I got a quick one. Job chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself for to the search of their fathers. And that's what, that's what we have been lacking this whole time here in Babylon, because our parents and their parents and their parents, they've all been taught BS. Going back, and speaking about the topic at hand, Christianity, which was, beat into our people. Our people legit, as it was beaten. It also was prophesied that we was going to serve other gods, wood and stone, man, gods of these other nations and idols. But we're supposed to be doing what? Searching what? Before slavery. Before the west coasts of Africa, which is why we've done the search, and we found out through the Spirit that what? We're the Israelites, and there's a customs, and those are ways and commandments and statutes and laws that we're supposed to conduct ourselves, because those ways are going to lead us to be what? Prosperous. Those ways are going to lead us to life. It's going to lead us to having our whole family structure better. The way that men and women are going to deal with each other, the way that we're going to deal with our children, the way that we're going to deal with the land, the way that we're going to deal with commerce, everything, man. We have a whole constitution when you read the scriptures, man, a whole way of actual living, and not living, but as YAHAWASHI said, being, I come to give you life and life more abundant, And ultimately that comes when we get into the kingdom, when we get the law, statute, commandments put in us. But if Jake tried to rehearse the righteous acts now, it'll be way less, held in their lives, man. Way less vexing and way less trouble that you will be getting into. And the only real trouble you will be getting into is being, trouble for YAHAWASHI sake, which is, actually righteous trouble. You know what I mean?
It said, what was about to say, I forgot my script, but I have more in Ezekiel 16. There's a couple more verses because it actually brings on to your point you were saying. Ezekiel 16, verse 25. Thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and hast made thy beauty to be abhorred, and hast opened thy feet to every one that passed by, and multiplied thy whoredoms, like the main one being Christianity and all these other religions and whatnot. Thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians, these present-day Edomites, etc. And with thy Egyptians, thy neighbors, great of flesh, and has increased thy whoredoms to provoke me to anger. So the Lord is angry how Israel is conducting themselves right now, because like the brother said, this knowledge and wisdom leads to more understanding how to move in this earth, because in all actuality, the YAHAWASHI's knowledge is the understanding. There's no nothing to get you to understand that more, but the knowledge of the Lord will get you to understand everything else more, because He is that, because that's His name. I am, He is. You know what I'm saying? He's everything around your existence. Everything in existence is Him. Ezekiel 16, verse 27. Behold, therefore I have stretched out my hand over thee, and have diminished thine ordinary food, and delivered thee unto the will of them that hate thee, the daughters of the Philistines, which are ashamed of thy lewd way. Because deliver them in the way that hate thee. Who's that now? That's Esau. They're the modern day Assyrians and Egyptians and Philistines and whatnot. Those are the people that Esau tells you that he hates you, man. Not and these other nations may say they may treat us bad, but who's the one true nation that really hates us, man? That's Esau, man. And they took the role of the Assyrians and Egyptians in this present day life. And it says, thou hast played the whore also with the Assyrians, because thou wast unsatiable. Yea, thou hast played the harlot with them, and yet couldst not be satisfied, because our people are not satisfied with all this marching BS, all this Black Lives Matter. You doing all this under the sun that is not helping you, man. This is not helping you. All that, they still talk about, go out and vote. Well, how long niggas gonna be voting to where it's gonna be a change? We thought it was with that with Obama, that flopped. And then you got Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is actually doing better for niggas, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because he's showing you what it is. He's showing you that, look, this is how we feel about you, and that's what they put in office, man. And that was the elite's plans from the very beginning, because that's going to start off the whole tension of Jacob and Esau in the first place. That you have to get a guy like that in the office, because Barack Obama is the pacifier. You got to get it shaken. Like Trump is getting it shaken. He get into it yo, these Edomites, you got these Edomites that you work with every day. You see walking past. Y'all be like, hey, how you doing, Bill? How you doing? But now it's Trump. It's code word. It's I am racist, and now I get to show it. What's that word? We say, not blatantly, but not blatantly. It's what's the word? Covert? Nah, shit. I forget. But yeah, you basically showing that you racist, but you without still saying it. You're not saying I'm a racist. Indirectly, subliminally. Subliminally, that's how you saying it. You know what I mean? And that's the ones that hate you, and you're gonna continue to intermingle with them and be oh well, let's work things out, and let's man, no, they're not all bad. That shit is done. That shit is over, man. Passive. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just because they're not doing all the slave shit and all that, don't mean that they don't feel that way. That sentiment has not changed from the time of Jacob and Esau.
That shit is right under the surface. See, people walking around with these fake smiles and all that, but it's right under the surface. People really hate each other. I mean, like, people deal with a lot. People, especially like co-workers, people who go to work. Remember Omar Thorne? He came in there and like had shot up the job and all of that amongst some Edomites. It was years ago. His name was Omar Thorne. But people really deal with and tolerate a lot of shit. A lot of these groups, Moab, they take a lot from Esau and have taken a lot, especially in the recent months with this COVID shit. A lot of Moab developed a deep hatred for Esau because a lot of the Edomites was like didn't want to be around them. And I was hearing the stories because I work out here and intermingle with a lot of Moab and stuff like that. So a lot of people got a lot for one another, man. You know, so to the point where they it's right under the surface, and when they snap, it's gonna be big, man, because they got a lot of that just piled in.
That's why you talking about how Esau being passive, and Esau's only passive towards Jake because of it benefits him. You know, a Edomite would be passive towards you if they can see that they can use you for you know, whatever reason. Right. So they can be friendly towards you. The scripture tells you that. You know, he'll be at your side if he could gain. But when you fall, he's gonna be right there to further, you know, to further your fall.
In the time of affliction, he's right there.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Jake took Esau's passive aggressiveness as them actually being friendly, and them not all being bad. But let an Edomite, if it's time for an Edomite to ride, or if it's time for an Edomite to shit on you, and he has to get overt with it, he's gonna do it. Right. But Esau's, because he's a serpent, he's a devil, it's like a snake. If you walk into a snake and you see a snake right there, you're like, yeah, I'm about to bite you. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go around. You know what I mean? But if you can walk by, if you can make the snake make it seem like, oh, he's not bothering you, or, you know, he's not paying attention, or you can walk through, you're gonna do that. You're gonna put your guard down, and then that's when he's gonna attack you. That's why the Lord equivalated Esau to the serpent, man, because he's subtle, he's crafty, he's sneaky. And Jake is simple-minded, and as the scripture says, never trust thine enemy, and that's exactly what Jake did. They trusted their enemy. And now they're in this predicament where they're not trying to go to the enemy for aid, trying to go to the enemy for helping them get in a better situation when they're the ones that put you in the situation in the first place.
Good precept to back you, this Jeremiah 15 and 11. The Lord said, verily, it shall be well with thy remnant. Verily, I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction.
Yeah, and that goes into it, man. Having your enemy treat you well in the time of affliction, but you're getting afflicted by them. All that, and also in Job, it said that what he will he seek to please the poor. You know, with all these stimulus packages and having your Black Lives Matter on the streets and shit. He's only doing that to keep you pacified, to keep you underneath him. We always say that. Oh yeah, the stripper, yeah. They'll go out and vote, and he got Jake women stripping, talking about go out and vote, trying to entice, you know, Jake men to vote, and saying basically that y'all only know about ass and titties, so we gonna put ass and titties in a campaign to go vote, you know. But they're seeking to please the poor only because they want you to be continue to be underneath them.
They need you. Yep,
yeah.
They need that.
Once they realize that Jake is riled up, you know, once they realize Jake is Genesis, who shall rile him up? Once it gets to that point, there ain't gonna be no seeking the poor no more. There ain't gonna be no Esau trying to be passive. He's gonna be straight aggressive. Revelation 12 and 12, man.
Yeah. And like that story where the lady had a snake, and the snake wasn't eating for a long time. She probably thinking, oh, the snake don't bite. He's very nice. Yeah. But he's getting ready, so when his stomach is good, he can swallow you up. Like you said, it's beneficial for the snake not to attack or, you know, get aggressive. Let the lady's guard down, and she got her ass swallowed up. Yep. Like if a serial killer is trying to get you somewhere, he's gonna act all nice.
That's what they said about Ted Bundy. He was a very nice and welcoming guy.
Yeah,
you know,
get your guard down.
He said he was handsome, he was nice, he was smooth with his words, and here it is, he's chopping off titties.
until it's time when you like, okay, I want to leave now.
Hey, a chick escaped from him. She was like, he had like sky blue eyes, but when he snapped out and like got into it, his shit turned like pitch black. I was like, damn, that was a real demon. Yeah. But she was like, he was like a smooth, clean cut Edomite. They got it on Netflix. It's called, it's a Ted Bundy movie, which is pretty good. And they got the Ted Bundy tapes where he confession, but he said he killed like 30-something bodies. That's just the ones he can remember.
And if you look into those movies, that one movie with J-Lo, where her husband was abusive, he didn't start the relationship abusive. Just like Ike and Tina, he didn't start off abusive. They be smooth. And that's why they always say when something abusive happened, he was like, but then he apologized and he was smooth and he did this and then like they let it go. But it's two sides. You know what I mean? Basically, it's like a nigga like he be abusive, but then like once he got your guard down again, that's when he knocks you down. You know what I'm saying? That's what Esau do. Because what it said, those words are smooth as butter, but war was in his heart. Look at Gad and Reuben, what he did to them. He didn't come here saying like, we gonna take your shit, fuck you. He like, yo, how you do this? This is a nice little thing right here. I like this. You know what I mean? Like months go by, years go by. You know what I'm saying? Then what? Put the sword in your back. That's why I say what? Backstabbers, man. Those are the people that be in your face smiling. That's why the Lord said, what is it? Open rebuke is better than secret love, because that secret love that they showing is fake. It's not real. It's like they're just doing that because they need you to be your guard down, to get your guard down, and it's easier to get the kill. That's why like when the lions and all them hunt, who do they hunt? They hunt the weak. They hunt the low baby, or they hunt the old. They hunt the person that can't run. Yeah, limping or hurt.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
An animal, like a predator, won't chase you until you start running. You know, like they'll stalk you, and then the second you run, you trigger the chase. And that's why Revelation 12:12 says, then shall they come in great wrath. But why? Because they're figuring out that this Jake is catching on. If we don't get him now, we can't use deception no more. Like the cat's out the bag. So fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Run down on him.
Yeah. What is he going to? Oh, Salaki, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say it's because like a lion roars a lot, but when it's stalking, it doesn't make a sound. That's pretty much it.
Pouncing.
Because it's like, what's the, what was I going to say? Damn, I lost my train of thought. That's all good, it's all good. They come back.
Hey, that's like.
And that's an ill point though. With the predators, you know, when you run, like you trigger the chase. Same thing with dogs. Like they tell you, right, when the dog loose, it's best not to don't run. If you run, it even makes them like more aggressive.
Yeah, because you
Like chasing.
And it's funny you said that, brother, because I always laugh at dogs, because we had a dog. Well, I had a dog, but my people had a dog, right? So like, we was young as hell. So we was playful. If you ever notice, if anybody has a dog in their household, if two people are play fighting, best believe that dog or dogs are gonna hop in it and play along with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's their normal instinct. Like, oh shit, we got some action. You know what I mean? Yo, if you pay attention, they always gonna run up to you, and the dog is gonna jump on you play fighting.
What I was going to say was, it's innate in Esau's DNA, his makeup, to persecute Jacob. Esau realized that because of slavery, the scripture says that, in the book of Deuteronomy, that, let me get it real quick, Deuteronomy 28.
They said, shall not rise up a second time either. That's their time being short. Yeah, but brother, look at these devils know that their time is short, because I'm talking about the higher ups and a little bit of these lower level Edomites. They see that like America's not going back to what it used to be. You know what I'm saying?
Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, in which Yahawah shall sin against thee, in hunger and thirst and nakedness and want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So right there lets you know that he was going to put you and keep you enslaved until he had destroyed you mentally. So that's why they allowed slavery, quote unquote, to end, because you are now destroyed mentally. He already got you to the point where he doesn't even need to put a yoke of iron on your neck anymore, because he's broken your mind. He's enslaved your mind. And now you got Jake out here thinking they're free, and the Lord is putting the vibration. We'll go back to the shaking, back to Ezekiel, putting that shaking to that vibration of Israel remembering themselves in the land of their captivity. And Esau is saying what? Well, we gotta put these niggas back to slavery, hardcore slavery, or we gotta kill them. And that's what Esau's going to revert him back to. He's going to revert back to what he knows best, which is what? His sword. Because how did he get us into slavery in the first place? You know, you did have Jake selling him, but how did he keep us in that position? By way of his sword, by way of that Gatling gun, by way of killing us. So this is what Esau in this time right now is going to do, because he knows Jake is not docile like they were 400 or 500 years ago to just go into slavery, have a couple Edomite men and chain them up and take them. It ain't going to be like that in this time. Esau is going to use more of his that wrath, man. He's going to use that wrath to get Jake and to destroy them. He's going to come down and says, well, they should be like madmen sparing none. You know? So he's going to use what he knows, because when you go to the book of Deuteronomy, it says what? I'm at Deuteronomy, Genesis, by thy sword thou shalt live. He hasn't had, I mean, he's still living by a sword now, but it's kind of like, you know, he uses it sparingly, so to speak. The time is coming where the time is coming where Esau's going to be using his sword all day, man. All day, every day, especially when you on the Israelites. That's the time of what? Jacob's trouble. Your concentration camps, you know, them quote-unquote peacekeepers, the UN peacekeepers, they're coming down specifically to you Jakes in his hood, you Jakes that's not paying attention, thinking that you got some quote-unquote rights, and you're going to be trying to stand up and talk about Black Lives Matter and all that. Esau ain't going to hear that shit, man. Look at Donald Trump don't care about Black Lives Matter. You know, these elites don't care about your protesting of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I'm about to say it to the point, to two of your points. Like the brother mentioned earlier, 12 and 12, they know if they have a short time. So if their blessing was to get the ruling the earth with the sword, but their time is short, so why would they not increase the sword? You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like our time is short, so we have to increase how we got this in the first place. And first of all, to like the point you said with the having a yoke around Jake's neck and now taking it off because we beat down, it's just like back to the point of a dog. When a dog has a collar that shocks them every time they're being loud, and after a certain amount of time, once you take the collar off, he's trained to know, all he knows is that sound of the collar shocking him. So like he's been trained, he's been beat down to like now he's not gonna bark as much as he did, unless it's like really necessary. You know what I mean? Because he's always gonna think about that. That's why Jake don't do certain things, because what? They know that the law is really, really against them. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, you said they won't have to bark until it's necessary. And this truth is putting that vibration of Jake barking now. You know, we don't advocate for Jake to get violent, but this mindset of Jake being docile is slowly, you know, fading away. It's depleting. They're now looking at society as if, you know, they're better. You have Jake saying, what? We're the chosen. You guys are the devils. You know what I mean? He's talking about Jake in the world saying that. So if they got that mindset in this, because the truth is that vibration, what is Esau going to do? You think he's just going to let that rock? You know? You had that one video of those people back up, it was like last year, beginning of the year, the Covington kids, you know, and they was out there, I forgot which camp that was, but they was out there basically, you know, cursing out them Edomite kids, and, you know, they put that on the news, and they were saying, you know, you got people out here that think this way, that are saying this is so crazy, so sad. How are they able to do this? It's the fact that Jake is waking up to knowing that we are superior than you devils, man. Right. But we're saying this in your kingdom. So of course, they're getting scared, and they're gonna do what? Bring out that sword.
Like that lady on the plane.
Oh yeah. Donna, go ahead, say it. Cause I ain't really watching.
Oh yeah, she was getting at the Edomite, and yo, it hit me because I didn't know she was gonna take it that spiritual. So she's like, yo, I'm superior to you, and you know Jake kind of know that. Yeah. But then she goes into like, she's like, you're Esau, and we're Jacob. Oh yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, she said that. Yeah, man, I've seen that. On the plane. Yeah, she's like, and the Most High's coming back, and he's gonna choose us, and y'all going down. I'm like,
you seen it? What the Edomite say?
And the Edomite was basically, at first the Edomite was trying to talk back, like, oh, you should sit in your seat, and you need to sit down. And she was like, yo, shut that white supremacy shit down. Not with me.
Like she was standing over her. Yeah, like, she was like standing right over her.
She was standing right over her. Telling her, look, you Esau and we Jacob, and you mad, and we gonna be on top. I said, that's a rap.
And they see that.
A quick precept to back both of y'all brothers on that point is Deuteronomy 28 and 10. And the people of the earth shall see that I are called by the name of the Lord, which is Yasharallah, and they shall be afraid of me.
Yeah, that's right. And that lady, after, like the brother said, she was speaking back a little, talking back a little bit, but after a while got quiet. Because while the Lord said what? In these last days, he's going to pour out his spirit upon all flesh. Now, wouldn't it be the sanctuary first that he chose in Israel?
Well, they can't gainsay over
because now it's like, all right, the cat's out the, like brother said, the cat's out the bag. So once the cat's out the bag, you can't say the cat's not out the bag because it's out the bag. The truth is out because, you know, brothers, I know you probably seen this years ago. The apostle said that the cats drove up to him in a limo. It was like we spent mad money to, you know what I'm saying? And that video looked old. That video was like the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Or like probably 2006. You know what I mean? So think about how much more the truth has come out in this last bit a couple years.
Hey, you got it in different languages, different countries.
You got a deaf camp in Holland, bro. A camp that prophesies sign language, man. So you know it's on, like, and these devils see that, like, and I'm not talking about the elites, I'm talking about these regular Edomites, man. Because now it's to the point to where, like, brothers entitled to certain things where, like, you gonna see that. So, like, you see people, you see a bunch of young black men, so-called black men in dresses, and then the title says, oh, America's never gonna be great again. Like, Edomites see that, but like, what? Like that triggers something that don't trigger in Jake, and even in these other nations, because these other nations,
see your confidence.
yeah, no, exactly.
They see your consistency and they see your confidence. See, they don't believe, but what makes them scared is brothers' consistency and their confidence. Because it's always that thought, like, what if these niggas right? You know, like, what if these niggas actually right? Who said it? RFK?
Yeah,
Kennedy
I'm thinking about that. Say, yo,
listen, we've been treating blacks bad all this time, but what if God was actually black? You know, that was an actual statement Robert F. Kennedy
yeah,
said.
I was thinking about that too. I actually did a video about that, and also too, you gotta remember too. Even though that shit was a hoax and they paid them off, even that shit is something minute with the Nick Cannon shit, Lil Bass back, man. That shit still resonates with people. You know what I'm saying? Even though they push it under the rug, but it's already been exposed.
And really, you said it resonates, but because Esau don't believe in the pride of his heart deceives him, he tries to like just shun it off. Yeah. But that's the lower level Edomites. So the scripture says that we wrestle against the not flesh and blood, but the spiritual wickedness in high places. We're like the elites on the right hand side going against the elites on the left hand side. See, the elites on the left hand side, they believe, they know. That's why it says the devils, they believe and also tremble. Esau, these elites, they know that we're the actual Jacob, that we're the actual chosen, that they're Edomites, that the blessing that didn't go to them, it went to us. They know all this stuff. These regular Edomites, they don't be knowing that they deceived us also. It says what? They have inherited lies. So the ones who are really affected by this is these elites. When they see Nick Cannon, you know, understand that you got the super elites, and you got the ones underneath them. The one who owned Viacom, he was actually a Edomite. His name was something Red Stone, but his actual real name was Red Stain, because he was a Amalek. So these super elites, they know that we're the ones, that we're the chosen. So when they see us waking up, when they see brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, that fucks them up. Yep. They're the ones that can't go to sleep. They're the ones that's like thinking upon their bed how to continue, what they're gonna do, because they can't like, they losing he's losing his grip. So that's why they want to come with that rap. That's why they doing all this pandemic and all this commotion and all this shit, because they're going to try to use this whole thing. See, it's the spirit of the Lord of us waking up the Israelites. Scripture says in the book of Isaiah that I and thy servants that are with me are for signs and wonders. The fact that we're waking up is actually a direct correlation to all these prophecies coming to pass. That's why Esau is bringing out the chip more, because he sees Israel waking up. And he says what? He has a short time, so now he has to push on his agenda of starting this new world order.
And he playing right into the Lord's hands.
Exactly.
Because that's what the Lord's plan. He said he set you up to do that. He set you up to like, look, all right, once this happens, then you're gonna do this. Because it's basically like there's a bunch of moves being made on the chessboard.
Just a quick to show you. Let no man, 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you, for that day shall not come, except they be a fallen away first. So that's heavy prophecy, because Israel, he was letting them know, look, Israel had to fall as a nation and go into captivity. Not just here in Rome, but also the dark ages have come, and they have to go in captivity in Babylon, which is America. So he said, listen, that judgment day is not going to come until Israel fall as a nation first. And we fell, and now we rising. So it says, and that no man, and that man of sin shall be revealed, the son of perdition.
Hey, and that's right there is key, because Israel fell, and then we got remembered, and then when we got remembered, who got revealed? The man of sin.
Damn,
because that's us remembering ourselves is now, it's like, well, now remember who you are too. And that's what Esau was trying to hide the most. He was trying to hide that he was a man of sin.
Right. And the movie The Best Man, the white one that was dating Neil Long, the actor, I forget his name, but they was all down there in the basement, and he said something about like towards him and his nationality, Morris Chestnut, The Best Man, with Morris Chestnut, and then that
I know you dating somebody white.
The Edomite, she was dating, he got like dimples and shit in his face.
Wasn't the Best Man Christmas?
With Morris Chestnut.
Yeah. But it don't matter.
Anyway, but he was the Edomite one. He was like the son of perdition.
Get out of here.
He said that?
He was like, yeah, I guess me, the son of perdition. They was like in the basement talking, because it was The Best Man. I forgot. If I later on, I'll pull up the cast and show you which one.
Point being,
he had said, the son of perdition.
Really?
Yeah.
I seen that movie.
It was a heavy, quick point.
That's what they do too. They throw it in there quick. They throw it in there and it goes over people's heads. But that's good you caught it. That's the spirit, because now it make me want to watch that movie. Because now I seen that movie and it was okay. But like, if he's saying words like that, that's a direct line to the scriptures. There's nothing else that explains that. Like, they got that from the scripture, and these directors already said that they take stuff out the Bible. James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, all these devils, man.
What did Seth Rogen say? He said that we have been taught a heavy amount of lies growing up about Israel. That's what Seth. He's a Jewish, he's a rat. He said that we've been taught since kids a heavy amount of lies about what Israel is in Israel, period, man.
And like you just said, they inherited lies. So like he's part of the actual main bunch of motherfucking heathens that inherited lies, because they actually
they turn the fall apart.
And that's heavy, because you wouldn't have heard that 30 years ago from no fucking rats, or even 10, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like in 2010. You know what I mean? They was all making their little gay movies and Knocked Up and 40-Year-Old Virgin and all that. But now it's like those movies, you don't see too many of those movies no more. Because what? This is not the time of laughter. This is the time of like, look, the quarantine was for 6 months. That shit shut shit down. And then now you got like this, everybody, they trying to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? But at the end, it's too late, because this place is already destroyed. Because once the economy was destroyed like that for those 6 months.
Can't build back.
Yeah, like you get, exactly, you can't heal it.
Yeah, like in Game of Thrones, there's that scene where the little boy Bran, he caught the Edomite having sex with his sister, and then he pushed him off because he found out the truth about what they really are, and that was going to bring out even bigger secret. It's called a falling away. He literally fell off, and he lost his memory. So they weren't concerned. They were like, it's no threat. But when he started to regain his memory, he started coming back to consciousness. Then they tried to assassinate him, try to kill him, like Esau doing today.
Yep.
Yeah, but now you know.
Yeah.
Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. So that's why this whole society is purposely against the Bible. This man know the Most High hate him and going to judge him. So he set his whole society up in opposition of the Most High. The Most High say you can't eat all the shrimp, pork, and lobster. What he do? Set up red lobster. He said you can't be homosexual. What he do? He set up homosexual marriages. The Most High say you can't sleep with animals. You can't get tattoos. He set up anything, any law in the scriptures. He purposely set up the opposition of it. You know, that's why and Jake say that now about these new Jake say those my ops over there, meaning my enemies, or meaning what? Those are the ones in opposition of me that's coming against me. You know what I'm saying? So this devil is saying who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship. So he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, which is what the minds of you Israelites. You know, he wants you to bow down and worship him, ultimately through the chip. Remember you not that when I was with you, I told you these things. And now you know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time, which is now, for the mystery of iniquity that already worketh. For the mystery of iniquity that already worketh. Only he who letteth will now let until he be taken out of the way. So the Lord is letting this devil run crazy and do what he do until it's time for him to be taken down.
Yep, that time's coming.
Verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed. This is the main point I want. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So right now the spirit of his mouth is what? This truth, the prophecies. And the Lord is destroying them right now, this devil with the spirit of his mouth. You know, exposing this devil that they the Edomites, all the wickedness that they did, that they hide from, that they trying to cover it up. So they being consumed with the spirit of his mouth, and right after that, he going to destroy him with the brightness of his coming. See, that's the Lord is going to systematically destroy this devil inside out. He ain't just going to just come and wipe Esau out and nobody know who he was and why he got wiped out, why he got rolled on. No, the Lord going to set his men up to expose this devil through the spirit of truth. Then after that, he going to come back physically with the chariots and just air his whole shit out in under an hour.
Yeah, and remember, and before that, the Lord breaking it down, because he said, what? Satan's house is divided. So, like, if this Satan's house is divided already, so how can it stand? So, like, the Lord is already breaking this place down to where, like, when the Lord comes through with his brightness of his coming, it's just going to just knock this shit flat. That's why it's only going to be an hour, because America's going to be so fucked up and so jacked up already. When the Lord and the angels and that great fire comes and the missiles come, it's going to be easy to take it out. Because why? Like we said before, when the prey is looking to destroy something, he goes when it's weak. You know what I'm saying? So he can just take it down easily. And that's what the Lord is going to do, because the Lord is breaking down America, breaking it down monetarily, breaking it down morally, breaking it down all like that. So when he comes, it's going to be easy. It's going to be light work. You know what I'm saying? You want to bring something out?
And that's why he's so scared that the Most High is waking us up, because he knows that is the timeline that he's been given. His timeline is basically you have until the elect wake up. And that's Revelation 7, the 7th chapter, the 1st verse.
And what's it?
On down.
What is it? A border he cannot pass? I know it's in Job, I believe.
Yeah. It's bound that he may not.
Yeah, so like that's where we at right now. And Esau thinking he gonna so like he thinking he's gonna pass that border, because why? The pride of his heart have deceived him. Who put that pride in his heart? YAHAWASHI. Because he's seeing that, look, man, America is not what it used to be, but like somehow, since it's still existing, it's gonna somehow come back and flourish and be that great place that it was. Nah, it's not like that, man. It's all down from here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people don't understand.
Job 14:5. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
That's right, and that was appointed from the beginning, because the Lord said, what? I declared the end from the beginning. So that the Esau's rulership and the expiration date of it was declared from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because like, it was nothing for the Lord. The Lord has everything already, what's that word? It's already played out, so to speak. It's already scripted and already a beginning, middle, and end.
That's why it's called the script.
Yeah.
The script was written,
exactly.
And now we just acting out what's written. Movies got scripts, plays got scripts, then the actors get picked, because the movie and the play was already written. Now we just got to put it in action.
Yeah, and it's being put in action full throttle, man. Because now, like in a movie, when you're in a movie theater, you can't rewind it. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't coming out on DVD. This is one and done. You know what I'm saying? This is one show. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be that, and then it's gonna be one take. It ain't gonna be no a sequel. But the sequel's gonna be the kingdom, and that's going to be forever. You know what I'm saying? But this movie right here, this Esau's rulership and these other nations having the upper hand over Israel, this is a one-time show, man. Because at the end of the day, once this place is done, it's us ruling forever. It ain't gonna be no, are we gonna go off again? YAHAWASHI gotta go on the cross again? Nah, man. It's gonna be the Lord. The Lord said, what? I'm gonna put everything back like the days of old. You know what I'm saying?
The book of Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 45, I start at 5. It says, sit thou in silence and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Right.
For thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. And that's how you know, this is talking about America. You know, people talk about, why is America Babylon? Well, this is the one nation that everybody wants to come to, or everybody did want to come to.
Yeah.
You know, this was the beacon of you know, they have the UN meetings is here. Whenever they have a UN meeting, they're always looking for the president of the United States to lead it. So this place is a place where people is the top country or top nation on earth right now, man. Keep going. It says, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancients have thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. So that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it.
Even in the time of Babylon, ancient Babylon, like we still was in tune with YAHAWASHI. But this part is like when he was real rough with his people, because he straight discontinued us, man. And now he's bringing us back into the fold. You know what I mean?
It said what? It said, thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did thou remember the latter end. See, these Edomites, they didn't remember the fact that the Lord still is going to choose Jacob. You know, and what is that? Isaiah 14:2. I've chosen Jacob. Let me get it real quick. Isaiah 14 verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall join with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. See, Esau didn't consider that part. He just considered the fact that he had rulership. He had us, the northern tribe and the southern kingdom, both in slavery. That, you know, everybody's looking at him as being gods. He just considered that, well, this is just what it's going to be. That's why you got Edomites now to say, well, you know, if there's a nuclear war, then everybody's going to die. You know, or if America's not on top, then, you know, the world won't be able to last. You know, they try to say, well, you guys, you niggas needed us. If you guys we didn't come and enslave you. Civilization. You know, you didn't consider the fact that, wait, but y'all not the Israelites. This isn't the kingdom of heaven. So according to the Lord, the kingdom of heaven must come. The heavenly Father is going to send his son back. YAHAWASHI is supposed to be the king on the earth. So you didn't consider, well, if this is the case and he has a people, then these people that we're fucking up, which are the Israelites, which they know that, he didn't consider the retribution for that, the recompense of his actions. But in the latter end, you're going to consider it because what? Because the Lord said what? I should destroy him by the spirit of his mouth. And we're telling you that, man.
They see how he wrote it. He said, yeah, I was rough with my people, yet I still choose Jacob. Because it said, chose Jacob. You said choose Jacob, right? You said?
Oh, yeah, mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel.
So it sounded, but it's already past tense. So like, that's already etched in stone. You know what I mean? But it's this point now that's playing out. You know what I mean? The people got to remember that, because in the scriptures back in the day, it seems like it's talking about it didn't happen yet, because it didn't. That's why I know the apostles always say, like, a lot of stuff in the Old Testament didn't even play out. That the reincarnated way of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. When it talks about the Assyrians and the Chaldeans, it's talking about these Edomites now. And when it says you in spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, what place would that be? People don't think like that's why these pastors don't bring those scriptures out, because they'll have people thinking like, damn, what place is called spiritually Sodom and Egypt? Because there's nothing called Sodom and Egypt like physically.
And that's why you got people like Vocab that's going so hard against this, because he's seeing that, well, if they're the Israelites and we're the Edomites, then he's actually considering the latter, you know, what it could possibly mean. You know what I mean? He's reading it like, yo, and that's crazy, because that means that they're in for a fucking, you know, in for some help. You know, but that's why he's going so hard with trying to combat us and trying to destroy the Hebrew Israelism, what he calls it. Hebrew Israelism. But you can't destroy this, man, because as they said in the book of Acts, what? That if it be of the Most High, then you can't fight against it. Right. At least you find yourself fighting against the Heavenly Father, man.
And what we talked about last night, we talked about like when people saying that they think they're coming against us personally. Now you're not coming against this man, you're coming against the Heavenly Father. It's not about us, and that's what people get misconstrued, but I don't want to think it's like scripture.
Concerning the fact that this is Judith chapter 9, starting from verse 6. Yea, what things thou, Yahawah, didst determine were ready at hand. So basically what the brother's getting into is that, you know, these prophecies are set in stone. It's a future thing, and we have to go read it, you know, like a journey.
Yeah, it ain't past tense.
I got something to back you up. The book of Daniel, chapter 25, verse 26. It says, I'll start 25. Huh? Daniel chapter, I said 625, my bad. Daniel chapter 7. Brother done found the missing verse. Brother done found the 70 missing verses.
I didn't peep. Daniel 25.
It's a lock here. There'll be one that's slipping with his tongue, but not with his heart.
I thought he said another book.
Daniel chapter 7, verse, I'm going to start it because Daniel is good. If you want to, brother want to break it down. Daniel 7, verse 22. It says, and I beheld until the Ancient of Days came, and the judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. It says, and that's talking about what? That was talking about this Roman Empire, but Roman Empire Reloaded, which is here in Babylon the Great. And this was diverse from all the other kingdoms. And one of the ways it was diverse is because of what? Because it had what? The Senate, you know? It had the the presidencies and all that. All these other kingdoms had what? Kings. You know, they had, you know, the what do you call it? Patriarchic. Oh no,
Rulers.
monarchies through dynasties. Yeah, there you go. But here you have what? You go every 4 years you change and you know vote, quote unquote vote, all this other BS.
Yeah, it's deception too because they choose them anyway.
Yeah, of course.
You know what
Yep. It says in the 10. Hey, shalom. Please. Say it again. Okay. You say IUSC.
Oh, okay.
God.
Peace.
Hey, peace. It says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are the 10 kings that shall arise and shall arise as Salakia. And another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, which goes into what? Was that the Spanish, the French, and the British? Yep. Because that's how America was established. You had the French and
13 colonies.
yeah, the 13 colonies. You had the Spanish American Wars. You had the French, the Revolutionary Wars, and the French American Wars. Yep. And the French. Go ahead.
New York, Britain. They got New York from Britain. They got Florida from Spain. And they got Louisiana from the French. That's why you got the French quarters down.
Louisiana Purchase. Yep. What they call it. Keep going. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and that goes back to what he opposeth all things that is set up as the Most High. Exalted the whole transhumanism, talking about their false miracles. Talking about we can give you your eyesight back. We can oh shit. Oh,
I mean, a bird.
Oh, I thought it was a bird shit. Yeah,
I mean, bird. I said no shit too. Yeah, word.
Shit, this kingdom.
When pigs fly. It says, and it shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And that's what this devil has been doing in here in Babylon, man. When you go into the book of Revelation, it talks about that she was filled, that whore was filled with the blood of the martyrs of YAHAWASHI, man. And this is what Esau has done, with the actual prophets in Israel, because all of Israel are considered saints, because we're the ones that made the covenant with the Most High by sacrifice. And here in Babylon, what has Esau done to the Israelites here? Wore out the saints, man. By way of the jail system, by way of the ghettos and the hoods, okay, breaking up our family structures, all these things that is wrong with this society. It's more perpetuated on Jake, man. Where we get it even worse. Even with the whole quote unquote COVID thing. They say, well, who's affected the most? The blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans. So they wear out the saints of the Most High.
And they show this truth getting out, because they ain't just say blacks. They said blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Who the hell throw that lineup up out there like that besides us? You know what I'm saying? So they starting to notice we can't leave Hispanics and Native Americans out, or we can't basically leave the northern kingdom out. You know what I mean? They bunch them all in there together, So they know that's like code word to let y'all know that we know
that y'all know.
It's funny because now the truth. You had any more to read?
Yeah, there's more.
Go, bro.
It says, and to think chime. It's like and to think. Oh, it's not charging? Okay, I think it died. Did you press it? Is it on the green?
Is it this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on low battery.
Oh, okay. We probably ended in. It says, and to think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times in the dividing of time. It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it until the end. And that goes back to what we were saying before, that this judgment is already written. It's already going to sit. It's already established, preordained that this is what the Lord is going to do. And it said what? That we're going to that Esau's society, Esau's kingdom, his dominion is going to be taken away, and it's going to be destroyed and consumed. It says, in the kingdom and dominion, in the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
That's why they said that they're the Jews. They try to equate that with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't have both. You already got this age. You can't have this age and the next age, man. By you having this age shows you that you're the Edomites. What is that, second Esdras? Esau is the end of this world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this has to come to pass, man. You know, this is the comfort that we get being in this place. Like, yeah, even though this shit is hell, but understand now what? The saints of the Most High is going to have the kingdom in the dominion. The Lord's kingdom, which says, Yahawashi said, repent ye for the kingdom of God is at hand. The kingdom of God is the kingdom of Israel. This is not the kingdom of God. God didn't bless this place. God is not smiling upon this place. None of that, man. The kingdom of God is the kingdom of Israel, which is why the disciples asked the Lord, will you now restore the kingdom back into who? Israel. That's what it's all about. The dominion is about power. It's about dominion. It's about kingdomship. And right now Esau has it, but he's losing it, man. Right. And he sees that, and he can't really do anything to stop it. Which is now he's going to resort back to his last, whatever he got, his last thing, what he got blessed with, which was the sword. But the Lord is going to set up that standard against you devils, man. Don't think that your sword, you're just going to just destroy us, man. No, you getting destroyed, man.
Because it don't logically make sense that if they're the Jews, because like where are these Jews out when they were just popping a bunch of women spreading their seed, and then all of a sudden now they in Israel again? And the Lord said when he put Israel back in the land of Israel, that he said that the whole world is going to glory and know him through them. So like nobody's, we're looking at them like, man, they're touched by the hand of Yahweh. They're touched by the hand of heaven. They're touched from heaven. Like nobody looks at them like that.
And the whole Ezekiel 36 is word.
Hey, word. Nobody serves and obeys Amalek, man. You got people.
I'm gonna get that.
You got them. They over there in the state of Israel protesting against Israelis, man. You got own Israelis protesting against you, man. But the Lord said what? That when the saints of the people of the Most High gets the kingdom, all of the whole world is going to serve and obey us, man. Through what? Yahawashi and the joint heirs, the elect, man.
Right. They should be immortal.
Yeah, they should be immortal. You know what I mean? They should be having everybody serve and obey them. They shouldn't need Babylon to give them billions of dollars a year for mental for weaponry and defense system.
Right.
You shouldn't be no wars on the earth no more.
Word. You supposed to win. The war is supposed to be won with Israel back in Israel. Like y'all supposed to have dominion over the whole earth. Because the Lord said when Yahawah came back, when the Lord came to deliver back the Jews in Jerusalem, he said what? That the whole world is going to see and every knee shall bow.
And they're going to come up and keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
You know what I'm saying?
They shall learn war no more.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's to build up their kingdom. We didn't do that. They're supposed to suck the breast of the kings of the earth. Wants to build up their
gates continually open. Where your gates? Where the gates open at? Y'all talking about y'all need trees from somewhere else?
Israel's locked down. You can't even go into Israel right now. How your gates continually open?
The Lord said that in the scripture said that when Israel's back in its all complete glory, said what? Where's this thing of death? Right. Where's that at? Because y'all clearly died. Y'all get old. Y'all stink. You know what I'm saying? Nobody looked at you like, oh, these are the people of God right here. Because the Lord said the whole earth is going to reference the Israelites, man. Because what? They're going to see his glory through them.
They don't even combat us. Like, as we say, look, we the Israelites, they don't really be like, no, y'all not. We are. They don't even say. Like, if somebody was, like, you got some California bloods.
Right.
You can have some New York bloods that's false flagging, right? They could be like, look, yo, like you would speak up if you like a part of something or created something, and you put all this energy to establish this thing. Like that's like having some other brothers that's saying they men of valor. You like, yo, we gotta check them dudes. Yo, you can't be going around. We ain't gonna get carnal like niggas, but it's gonna be like, listen, if y'all was the Israelites and the Jews, why y'all not really like, listen, them guys like, y'all not defending it. We constantly saying, look, that Holocaust, that was a hoax. This and that. Y'all not really, in Amalek can say, oh, we pay you guys no mind. They don't have really no foundation to really stir or back up what they saying.
That's why when Nick Cannon said that, when he had sat down with a rabbi, what did he say? He said the rabbi wanted to teach him about the Holocaust. That's all they. That's the only thing they could point to. Yeah. You know what I mean? They said, well, we want to teach you why, because Nick Cannon said that we're the Jews. He never said that. Well, he might have mentioned something about the Holocaust, but he was saying that we're the chosen. This rabbi didn't come say, you know what, we're going to show you why we're the chosen, why we're the true chosen. He said, you need to learn about the Holocaust and the atrocities and what happened during that time. God, tell me how you the Israelites.
And they can't even name all the people that died in the Holocaust. Like, cough them names up. I bet you a lot of that shit be fictitious. That was bullshit, man.
And speaking of names, why ain't nobody referencing Yeshua? That should be the name that everybody fucking mouth.
Oh yeah, no, they don't even believe in the Messiah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, remember
Yahweh. Well, what about Yahweh?
They don't say that. They say Hashem.
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 So
In the name of what?
Bring the kingdom. Who's supposed to bring the kingdom?
Yeah.
Yahawashai supposed to bring it, but you don't believe in him.
I got it.
What the hell?
Word. It's funny because like the spirit just landed on Amalek. You know what I'm saying? This is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel.
Now, when it says the mountains, a lot of scripture you'll think governments, but actually this is talking about the lands, the actual landmass, the landmass of Israel. Read on.
Right. Under the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in
Because they
possession.
said into the land, like, look, we're going to take that land 1945 to 48.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're going to take the land and ours in possession, man. You know?
And they said even the ancient high places, they got Jerusalem.
And that's a mountain. That's on actually on the mountain, like the brother was bringing up.
Way after we left, we was taken out of that land. And ours in possession. Verse 3, therefore prophesy and say, which what we're doing right now, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye may be.
And they got, and look, and you got other, Amalek just not in it. In the land of Israel, you got quarters of like Moab, Ishmael,
Ethiopians.
All them different nations that took like sectioned it off for themselves, man. So that's on point. Because remember, when the Lord set this chapter off, he's actually talking to the land of Israel. Not like the people or Amalek. He's talking to the land, saying how people plotted out to take that land, which is his favorite plot of land. Read on. Because you bring that part back, though?
Which one? I'm at verse 3.
Read 3 again?
Yeah, Ezekiel 36, verse 3. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. Now, if I may say, the land of Israel is jacked up right now, because I remember ways back they said that they needed trees to be imported. Yeah, to be imported, because like it was so jacked up there. You know what I'm saying? Every side. That ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, which brother just said. He mentioned besides Esau, aka Amalek, the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken in the lips of talkers and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord God. Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, that's Edomites, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, all their wickedness, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey, man.
And if you go into that word appoint, I believe it's declare, which it tell you one of the definition is to declare, and that's what the Balfour Declaration. You know,
we're the Jews now.
Yeah,
and they don't say, and that's when you know that they're not really about that, like, cause they say they're Jewish. And when you go into Jewish, you got ISH, it's like something to pertain to. But they're not even Jewish, because they have nothing to do with Judah, Israel, Jerusalem, man.
Or Israelis.
Israelis.
The word
Israelis is pertaining to modern day Israel.
Yeah.
Israelite meaning pertaining to ancient Israel.
The word for declare is to appoint. Salaki is Nathan. It says to give, to put, to bestow, to grant, to permit, to ascribe, to devote, to dedicate, to sell, to exchange, to lend, to commit, to entrust. What else you got? To extend. Trying to see where.
Wait, but why would they need the land to be given back to them if it was already theirs?
Right.
And it was permitted unto them by what? The Balfour Declaration. They couldn't go into that land except that whole agreement happened, because that land was basically a providence under Great Britain during that time. So that's why them rats needed Britain to basically write that Balfour Declaration, so that they can say, like, look, we got this declaration, we got this piece of paper that say that we and all of us that's coming here, that we can come into this land and we're gonna kick y'all Palestinians out of there. So it's permitted unto them to do so.
But it wasn't Britain who gave it to them in the first place. So how the hell is Britain gonna have the power to permit you? Isn't the Most High who gave you the land?
And that's why I said that all Idumea, because that's Edomites too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right.
Hold on.
To nominate,
oh,
to
we
name,
got the word?
designate, dominate. I think it was like under like synonyms for it. But that also, those also are synonyms like to actually declare from the Balfour Declaration. Yeah.
And if it was 1945, I mean in the 1940s, but like, how was it that? How is y'all being put there, written out? And that's not of the Lord. That's of man. That's why the Lord said anything of man, it could be torn down. And that's why there's always friction in Israel. Because I remember when I was in elementary school, I was always hearing about them against the Palestinians. You know what I'm saying? Israel, and there's like always like tips going on.
Yeah, they always used to say back in the day, peace in the middle, peace to
yeah,
the Middle
it was
East.
because of that, and it was because of that, and everything always revolved around Israel because they know that that's the Holy Land. That's how you know this Bible is true. Because why isn't no other land talked about like Jerusalem and Israel? Why did they choose Israel, man? They could have chose anybody. They could have chose to be Persians. They could have chose to be the Egyptians. They could have chose to be the who else is out there? They could have kept being the Romans. Y'all could have been the Moabites. Y'all could have been anybody. Why you little old Israel?
What we got next?
Yeah.
So they're trying to get a jump start on that. Like,
And they got to fulfill prophecy because the Lord said they appointed that land to them, and they doing all the will of their dirty work, man. Yeah, I got one. Yeah, one more verse.
Nah, it's more. There's more. Bring that out.
You want verse 5 again?
Yeah, no, read on.
I'm reading verse 6. Verse 6 definitely popping. Ezekiel 36, verse 6. Prophesied therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, to the valleys, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because he have borne the shame of the heathen.
Right, because what's the shame of the heathen? They eating what? Kosher pig over
pig.
there. Motherfucking rabbis
Pink
smoking
city.
kosher cigarettes.
Sucking baby dicks.
Yeah, sucking baby dicks. That's the shame of the heathen. They doing all kinds of
Pink
fucking
City,
wickedness
Pink
over
City,
there.
Pink City.
Yeah, Tel Aviv, Pink City, which was Ashdod. Ancient Ashdod was modern day Tel Aviv because that's a seaport in Israel. That's why I said a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
They actually have what are Muslims worshiping? What are those shits called?
Mosque?
Mosque. Yeah,
Oh, they do.
Over
Jewish
there
mosque.
No, it's an
Islamic
mosque in Israel. So you have a whole. They actually allow you to worship another god in Israel.
Yeah. I know they had mosques. That's right. He's right. I know they had. I remember hearing that they had Muslims worshiping in Israel, like Muslims worship in Israel. I remember hearing that.
Yes. They actually have that shit, man.
But they don't even worship the Most High. They follow that Talmud shit.
And they have a thing where it's called like the Greater International something, where they're trying to build a universal church where everybody can go and worship in that church over there, and they're trying to build it in Jerusalem.
Any religion?
Any religion can worship in that church in Jerusalem.
That's why that's a
fucking
shame.
Spiritual gumbo.
I got a testimony too.
That shit is sick. I ain't even know that.
Yep.
Yeah, I
I
know
mean, I
that
did
either.
research on that a couple years ago.
video on it.
Yeah.
That's
The
crazy.
same building at the same time.
That's confusion.
What the fuck?
What's right? What is rights? What is rights? Hold on, imagine you walking there and you trying to figure out yourself. You trying to figure out something, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go to Israel. I heard this building there, you know what I mean? Universal something. You walking there, you like, Assalamu alaikum, shalom. No. Choose your pick. Choose your religion for the day.
And that's how you know these are fucking devils, because they're doing that in the Holy Land, man.
Word.
They're doing that in the land where the reason why we got kicked out.
Yeah.
And Shemai, the reason why we got kicked out is because of worshiping other gods, man. That's the reason why we got kicked out of that land, is because we was worshiping other gods. But this devil goes in there and sets that exact thing up, man. And you talking about you the true chosen people? That don't make no sense, man.
That happened in 2 Kings 17.
Yeah, the Lions.
When the Lions, he had kicked them out. Yeah.
Mistake me if I'm wrong, Akim. Didn't the Lord say when Israel was all well and good that he said he was going to tear down the idols of the other nations? So when you building, here it is, you saying we could all worship the different gods.
I didn't know they took
Worship
it that
different.
far, bro.
Yeah, worship. That's crazy.
God damn.
That's how you know we definitely did, because that's definitely a shame. And like, remember the Lord said they're going to bear the shame of what they did. So like so when we come back and worship, you're gonna like, yo, look what you did to our land, and we're gonna jack you up, man. You gonna kosher pig.
But the Most High is not even with quote unquote unity camps to where we all Israelites, and you might teach the mark of the beast ain't the chip. I still, the Lord ain't with me teaching with you if I'm teaching that it is the chip.
Word.
So if he ain't with that, how the hell is he gonna be with you talking about some
nother-
Allah
Yeah.
or Buddhism or worshiping idols?
Yeah, man,
That
that's
don't even
crazy.
make sense.
Deuteronomy 12 verse 1. These are the statutes and the judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land which Yahweh power thy father giveth to thee to possess it all the days that ye live upon the earth. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon the hills and upon every green tree. Ye shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire. Ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place. Ye shall not do so. Ye shall not do so until the Lord your God. So the only thing you're supposed to have is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi altar, man.
That's a, hey.
And check this out. And like you know what Esau doing all this? It's all for money. Because that's gonna bring it's money, it's so much money in religion.
And Satan worship.
It's doing all
that's
that.
where they get their power from, the left hand side.
That's right. And so the brothers read something in Deuteronomy, right? That's something how the Lord said Israel was gonna get down once they was in rulership. And that, back then that's what happened, because that was after Egypt. So all of a sudden y'all gonna fast forward, y'all the Israelites still from that same program, but now you saying you're gonna have a universal building that's gonna have every religion and their followers follow the shit. Bro. Like that shit crazy. Like that sounds unreal.
Hey, to back the brother on that beautiful point he had, 2 Chronicles 15 and 13, that whosoever will not seek the Lord God of Israel should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman.
Woo! So that's the Lord showing that he's not biased, man. Oh, the Lord don't care that you pretty. Oh, did you scream? Oh, you. But you said you ain't gonna worship, so that means that's an automatic kill, man. Like you done for, man. And that's what's going to come when the Lord's judgment comes. Because that's going to be the judgment. Because like, either you follow the Lord or you don't. So the Lord said, if you're going to die or you're going to live, choose life. We choose life here. And Lord willing, every brother here and abroad stays in the spirit of YAHAWASHI Mashah. So the time coming approaches, and actually here, it's going to be like, all right, we're going to have that hedge over us, man. Because you don't got the hedge, then you're going to get fucked up by anything out here that's going to fuck people up.
And you know these people don't have the true and living power, because with them, we all could worship the same. Or I call them Allah, you call them this and that, it's cool. Like certain people in my family that's Muslims, so-called diehard Muslims, they not really strong in their spot as far as, because they'd be like, oh, you know, it's open to anything. Right. To them, God is God. You call him this, I call him that, whatever. Like, that's just, but in our head, like, nah, we can't do that. The Most High jack us up. Right. You know what I mean? I can't make mention or give praises or say Hamdi Allah or some shit like that. The Most High, like, jack you up for that. Right. But to them, they could say our slogans, or, okay, all right, all praises to, how you say it, Yahweh? Okay, then all praises to Yahweh, then however you want to say it. They, like, more neutral and, like, agreeable. Like, I ain't trying to offend you, but we like, nah, the God we believe in is real. Like, that shit y'all is shaky on, and y'all don't have a firm foundation. Right. That's why y'all, like, open arms to everybody with it and don't want, like, no confrontation or don't fear. Like, listen, nah, the name is Allah, and you got to serve Allah, and that's it. Right. Whatever you serving, that shit is off. They ain't saying that. Right. They ain't saying that. They like, oh, what you calling them? Well, I'm sorry, brother. Well, I didn't mean to offend you. That's your belief. God is God. Nice to meet you, brother. And that's how they coming. But we like, no, God ain't God. His name is this. He got certain attributes and ways about him and shit he don't like. And that shit you talking about gonna get you smoked.
That's right. And all these religions out here, you could stop doing it. You could stop practicing it. Go do your thing. Be a fucking robber. Be a thug or whatever, and then come right back. But this right here, the Lord said to decline not His ways. So once you learn the truth, this is supposed to be your life. This is not a religion thing. This is a nationality thing. Like, so like us being Israelites live a certain way. You could a Muslim is a religion. So you can't say what are you? And I'm Islam. I'm Muslim, because that's a religion. You got Ishmaelites that's Muslim. You got Moabites that's Muslim. Hamites, Persians, they all Muslim. So how is that a divide? How is that bringing in when that's the Lord is dealing with everybody through nations? The Lord's not dealing with you through religion, because it said what the Lord these religions are vain. You know what I'm saying? So like, how you gonna do that? This is like, we all Israelites by blood and by spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody here in Israel has a connection, because what? We're the same people. And that's why these other nations had a connection with themselves, because they're the same people. That's what it's about. It's not about what you follow, because everybody's God is vain except for YAHAWASHI Mashah, which is the ultimate power that created all of us. You know what I mean?
We can get back to that 36.
I want to just go piggyback with Tazaiwan was saying. That's the New World Order way of thinking. They already are indoctrinated you before the actual New World Order has been established. So you're thinking New World Order, you know? Oh, let's all coexist and come together and be one.
Right. That's what
false.
Antiochus Epiphanes tried to do.
Right.
Nimrod, Tower of Babel. Yeah.
Yep. Where was that?
The
Verse
shame
7.
of the heathen.
Okay, I'm going to read verse 6 again. Ezekiel 36:6. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel and say, unto the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore,
And we got into those different shames. We could kind of go on and on with that. And the brother, the elder Tazawan brought out some beauty. I didn't know it went that deep. Edification on that. But go ahead.
And shall bear their shame. Verse 8. But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people of Israel.
That's very important. It's showing you that the rats or the people that's in there, that the land is not producing. The land of Israel, like, man, fuck y'all. Y'all ain't the Lord's people. When we get in there, the earth gonna be
act
like,
right.
I'ma act right for y'all. You know what I'm saying? The earth is viewed as like a nurturer, a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna act right. I'm gonna do what you want me to do. I'm gonna do this and that, this and that. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you heathens in there, I'm gonna be the shittiest piece of land that you could ever think of. But it said what? The land shall yield its branches to my people Israel, the real Jews, us, the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the Israelites foreigners scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, coming back to the folk whose line go back to the seed of Jacob. Read on.
Because some parts of Israel is like low-key like a desert. Some parts. Verse 8, remember verse 8 again. But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people of Israel, for they are at hand to come.
See, they are at hand to come.
Ain't get there yet.
That's prophecy, man. Because the Lord gonna bring us back over there. Read on.
For verse 9, for behold, I am for you, and I will turn unto you, and ye shall be tilled and sown, and I will multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel.
Yeah, and one of the, what's that intravenous thing they do, IVA? When they put the pregnancy, the sperm in you, the false
artificial insemination.
Yeah, they got one of the biggest IVA centers. If that's
like sperm banks?
No, when they do the pregnant
operation.
You know what's spiritual about that? Because my woman, she worked in not my woman, but my baby mom's, whatever. She worked in a cancer institute, whatever. And a lot of people, they go there for different reasons to see, like, a lot of women go there to see if they like have any cancers in their uterus, because they have just to make sure that they can give birth or hold a baby, whatever. And he said a lot of Jewish women was going there because they weren't getting pregnant. So they was going there to make sure that everything they was testing correctly, because they was basically saying, I gotta make sure I can get pregnant. We're having a hard time getting pregnant. So they wanted to do like all that extra shit because they couldn't get pregnant. Which goes against the scriptures, because it says that Israel was gonna be what? They was gonna be fruitful. You know what I mean? We're gonna be Jake be getting pregnant, don't even want to be getting pregnant. Like in that movie, what was that movie? Don't Be a Menace in South Central. After he just had sex with her, he was like, I'm pregnant. Like 2 seconds after they was done. That's how Jake is, man.
And it's funny, and it's funny because the little line of work I did when I did the moving for them Amalekites, none of them had children, man. Because I went in their bedroom and it was twin beds. They're twin beds, right? So I'm like, oh, they got kids. And like, nah, that's their beds, the husband and wife. So they don't even sleep in the same bed. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, like, and I think I did 3 Elamite, Amalekite houses, and none of them had children, man. But y'all supposed to be the God chosen people, so why wouldn't the Lord reproduce more of you?
Yeah, they have to try really hard to have kids. Like, they actually have to do the whole rhythm method and find out when they're ovulating and do all the shit to have kids. Or Jake, you sneeze on a girl, she can be like, I'm pregnant, man. Don't let her be an Ephraimite.
Which part?
They be looking at the cycles.
Over 10. Ezekiel 36 verse 10. And I will multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel, even all of it, and the city shall be inhabited, and the wastes shall be builded.
Right, he gonna multiply men right now. Check this out. In the The in vitro fertilization IVF center at Tel Aviv Sorosky Medical Center is the largest and most innovative IVF centers in Israel. So what? They can't hold baby like the brother was bringing out. They don't hold like they got the IVF centers like that because they don't hold the seed. They be losing the babies like that. So, but the Lord said He will multiply men upon us. So when we come in there, it's gonna be like
The land is gonna love
like
it.
it said, the streets shall be like filled with children. We gonna go in there with like the 144,000 or whatever, and Israel gonna be bigger because now they got the Greater Israeli Project where they got
They're trying to
the Golan Heights.
Yeah.
Like they took apart the how the fuck you go in the side? Yo, this is amazing. You go on the side of another man's land, cut that shit out and add it to your shit and I call it the Stolen Heights.
they're trying to fulfill the prophecy of what Abraham told that that the land that Abraham was supposed to get, that in land of Israel is way bigger than what they got right now. So they're trying to fulfill that prophecy that the Lord told Abraham what the land of Israel was going to be. Because when that was actually fulfilled during the time of King David, that's why he was going around and setting up garrisons and all that, because the land of Israel is way bigger than what you see right now when you look at the land of Israel. That little slither piece, that's way bigger than that. So when they went in there, they only got that one piece because you still got the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, and then you even land of Israel is even on the other side. It's like it's far.
The 4 rivers.
It's big. It's a piece of it's all of Saudi Arabia. It's like all of that land south. It's a little bit of Iran that way. I believe if you go north, it's up there. Syria. Yeah. It's way bigger than what these little rats got right now, man.
That's how
and that's why they got the Greater Israel Project, because they're trying to fulfill that prophecy.
And that's how you know they full of shit, because you can't yourself fulfill the prophecy. The prophecies are fulfilled in you, The prophecies are fulfilled in you. So like when the prophecies were fulfilled, they didn't say we're going to fit this prophecy so we can fit this prophecy. The prophecies, when they happened, that's where the prophecy being fulfilled. It wasn't like Abraham didn't do like, I'm about to fulfill the prophecy where I become the father of many nations now. No, like it just happened naturally. They're trying to do it unnaturally. They're trying to do it artificially. Like, all right, we're going to fit this prophecy by doing this. You can't get that, my man.
And they're using Babylon. They're using Babylon the Great to do all these things, right? How are you going to use America, Babylon, to get all your prophecies fulfilled? Like you're using if you're the chosen people, right? How are you using a place where the Lord said He's going to destroy the mother of harlots to fund you to get everything that you're trying to get fulfilled, to fulfill the prophecies of the Lord? That don't make no sense.
And you have Amalekites here. Why are y'all over here? You got Amalekites that's over here right now.
By the boatload.
Yeah. Like, matter of fact, not here, but mostly, like, I think Brooklyn.
Yeah, they
Brooklyn.
have it in Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying? You got them Amalekites. Y'all in a land that's going to be destroyed. But y'all supposed to be already delivered and in your own land. So you coming back to the other side of the earth? Because the Lord said, what? This land is not going to be inhabited no more when Israel's back in Israel. The nation of Israel is back in Israel. So y'all trying to fit prophecies while you're fitting the prophecies that make you look stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't be both. You can't be over here saying you want to live luxurious and profit here, and then you going back and forth to the land of Israel. The land of Israel, once we over there, we ain't coming back over here.
This is how big the land of Israel is supposed to be. Actual land of Israel.
Damn. Through the spirit, that's heavy, man.
They got that little bit right here. Yep.
Hey, send me that. I'm gonna do. Nobody steal it. I'm gonna do a sit down on that.
That's how big the land of Israel is supposed to be. And they only got this little piece right over here. Get close. They only got this little piece right up there, but this whole thing is supposed to be the land of Israel, man.
The
Fertile Crescent.
The Fertile Crescent, man.
That would make sense.
That makes sense, though.
How they gonna
that make, like, if you know about Genesis, the 4 rivers, you can actually see it. Mm-hmm. Damn, that's heavy.
That's huge, man.
And think about that.
And that's why a lot of them artifacts they probably trying to find, they can't find it because it's in the actual another part that somebody else actual land there. That's not gonna let you come over there and start digging up their shit.
And that's why they got that Greater Israel Project.
And Israel's surrounded by all these places, so that's how these nations gonna be coming back and giving their treasures to us. They all around us.
These are just Saudi Arabia alone.
Send that to me,
Huh?
brother.
Yeah.
And Saudi Arabia, a part of Egypt, plus a part of that strip right there.
All right, yep, serious. It goes all the way up to Turkey.
Shit.
Well, it makes sense because Church of Asia Minor, there wasn't no far travels. Like it's all around the nation, the land of Israel. You know what
This
I mean?
is bigger than any other land next to it. Like imagine this was just said all of Israel. Look how small Iran looks, Turkey looks, Egypt looks, Sudan. They completely took over Yemen and all those other small countries over there.
Esau made them borders.
Huh?
He made them borders.
When the Lord
Hey,
set us up, that's gonna be
The Lord had us around Goshen, and then we crossed the Gulf of Suez. So we really went through around this area. Of course, he didn't like give us this whole portion right here.
Yeah.
But he had us going around the same area.
God.
But that's spiritual because like, damn, that's a
I heard that before that not even just the land of Israel, but the actual whole map of the earth is like kind of like finicky. You know what I mean? Like the way like the land looks, it says finicky.
Yeah, that's why it says in the book of Amos.
Drop the land expand even more, so it probably like expand more and become bigger.
That's why it says in the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 12. It says that I start at 11. It says, and in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins and will build it as in the days of old. Because the tabernacle of David was who? During the King David, and that's what King David had. That landmass is what King David had. It says, and they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. And that possession of Edom is not talking about the people, it's actually talking about the land.
Right.
Because when you look at this, because Edom was south of Judah,
Right.
this is right here, is all Edom land right down here.
yeah.
Okay, all this is all Edom land over here before, in the ancient world, all this was Edom land. So that's why we're going to possess the remnant of Esau.
Man, that's heavy.
Yeah, so.
And y'all gonna have to build up this whole thing.
I'm about to say,
Let's
once
just
you get looped,
just get used to it. Let me see. You know what I mean? Get used to that, because you're gonna have to build up this whole thing, man.
In Saudi Arabia too,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep. The
Yeah,
oil.
Havilah, yeah.
The oils, yep.
Cause like
oil, yeah,
like the kingdom being built back up. Cause like brother said, like when the nukes hit it, it's going to turn it into basically a desert a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that means you have to build it to where the bodies of water are going to be able to flourish. You got to build up the streets of gold. Like y'all have to build all of that, and not just Esau, all you other nations, man. Because I be seeing all you Edomites, you other nations, everybody trying to be in the gym, everybody trying to work out. Well, y'all gonna get the workout of a lifetime in the kingdom. Because once you come back in the reincarnation, you gotta remember, we always say like, yo, it's hard.
Cross over.
Yeah, it's like, some of y'all gonna like, cause when we built this kingdom, well, you gotta remember Jacob was passing out. Y'all beat us while we was working. So what you think is gonna happen to y'all? Here it is, yo. And y'all gonna have no
open continue.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be no power tools, ain't gonna be no bulldozers, ain't gonna be no bobcats, demolition balls, ain't gonna be none of that. It's gonna be hand.
No union.
Union
reps talking about we need better technology.
But then it said no labor. It ain't gonna be no labor union, but it's gonna be continual employment.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all gonna always, it's like, remember when we be like, yo, we talk about being idle and being bored? Well, ain't nobody gonna be bored, because we gonna be having fun ruling, and y'all gonna be not bored getting ruled.
Like in Egypt.
Yep.
Because them Egyptians did that. They reduced the brick and stuff that we can use. And they still said
hot
do the
over
work.
there.
Yeah, very
They
hot.
gonna be.
And it's hot in Israel too. That's how, and you know how y'all get when y'all be in the sun too long. Ain't gonna be no what's the shit? Sunscreen lotions. Ain't gonna be no like tanning salons. Y'all gonna get the ultimate tan.
And y'all wanted y'all women, women liberation. Your women gonna be working too.
Oh, yeah.
Right next to you.
Yeah. Hairy. Yeah.
Yo, that sun gonna cook their ass.
Got it. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahawah thy power, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, no coronavirus, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. And to go to that word force, it means the wealth.
Yep.
It says, and that their kings may be brought. And it also scripture tells you, as the king is, so shall be the people.
Yep, right.
It says, for the nation and the kingdom which shall not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Right. So y'all don't want to get wasted.
Finish that 10. Have a good shot. What time?
Ezekiel,
Take it to
5. Yeah.
Ezekiel 36 and 10. And I will multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel, even all of it. And the city shall be inhabited, and the waste shall be builded. And I will multiply upon you man and beast.
See, and beast. So we gonna have cattle. Hey man, it's gonna like cow, goat. We gonna have it all,
have it
man.
all.
You know,
it's gonna just multiply. It's gonna flourish,
You know, our
man.
brothers be trying to find lamb legs
Yeah.
right now. We trying to find some salmon
man.
steak. Like, you don't gotta, ain't gonna be nothing to find
No
nothing,
markets.
man.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be, yo, I went to ShopRite, ain't there. Nah, it's gonna be here.
What it said, everything you're gonna have in abundance.
And
So
the
like
Lord is a God of abundance. See, Esau is a person of
capitalism.
he deal with shit on a minimum type scale, but the Lord deals with abundance. Be fruitful and multiply. You know,
Right.
He deals with like abundance and having things in large quantities, man.
Because Job wasn't a king, but Job had an abundance of things.
Oh, like I forgot if it was Josiah's Passover or one of the kings. Their daily, when you read their daily portion, it was going to like thousands of sheep, thousands of bullocks, thousands of for just their daily portion.
Damn. That's how you know the land gotta get big. That's how you know the land gonna get expanded. Ezekiel 36 and 11. And I will multiply upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bring fruit. And I will settle you after your older states, and will do better.
The elder brought out like how the tabernacles of David, how the land, the estates, the houses. He said, "I will settle you after your old estates, man." You know, so hey, man, you gotta kind of like, hey, the Lord said, meditate on our precepts, because some. Damn, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't imagine.
Yeah, you know,
they had
really
a lot.
just going into the kingdom.
Yep.
It's cursing out Amalek now. We're doing process of elimination by killing Amalek too on this prophecy, but also this going into the kingdom. But finish that.
He saw the end of Jacob at the beginning of it that followeth. Where's that?
Older
Older states. And will do better unto you than at your beginning. So it's gonna be better.
Ooh.
And you shall know that I am the Lord.
Damn.
Yeah.
So how the hell is these guys? I will do better for you than at your beginning. Meaning, not even going to the beginning. Let's go to Solomon. You mean to tell me Amalek living better than King Solomon?
Hell no.
Hell
Foolish
no.
mortals.
Yeah.
Hey, this
Hell
is
no.
Solomon's servants. The Queen of Sheba thought that was him.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Don't let me type in what is a homeless population in Israel. I bet you they got a fucking high population over there, man. Ain't no Jake gonna be homeless in the kingdom of heaven, man.
And remember, I forget where it's at. I think it's in one of the kings. I don't know if it's first king or second king, but it said that the kingdom of Solomon is going to endure forever, man. Because that goes back to it being YAHAWASHI, that spirit. Because
I would do greater for you than at your beginning. That's
and
heavy,
the
man.
beginning was lit, as the children say.
The Lord said it's going to please him to make us happy. Think about that. The Most High want to make himself happy by making us happy.
It's not like he's
just
gonna
like
short.
your girl.
It's not like he's gonna short himself.
Make sure that it makes sense.
Yeah, like a man with his woman. You know what I'm saying? We the Lord's woman. Like you know, Jake got shit or whatever.
That joint
Really,
keep
you
popping
get a joy from.
Yeah, it's about to
I mean,
die.
a chick that you know that's worth it. You know what I'm saying? You get a joy from buying her shit and doing shit for her, seeing her happy. You know what I'm saying? Like when we got holy days, I get a kick out of seeing y'all eat. I eat last, or probably don't eat, or eat tomorrow or some shit. I be drinking and shit, but get a kick and get a drive out of brothers enjoying themselves, you know? So the Most High had that same mentality times 10, times 1,000.
And that's
just on a level of a God, man.
And that's how you're supposed to think, because as the Lord said that when you be brotherly, it's like you're doing it to Him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's supposed to motivate you to be more brotherly and be more charitable and be more any way you could be to be more further in the truth. Because that's really what it's about at the end of the day. It's not about how many precepts you know about this, that, and the third. It's about how you treat each other and how you conduct yourself when you're even not around each other. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're a reflection of YAHAWASHI and your brethren, your constituents. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about.
I'm trying to cover more of that.
All right, yeah, I'm the Lord. Yea, I will cause men to walk upon you, even my people Israel, and they shall possess thee, and thou shalt be their inheritance, and thou shalt no more and henceforth bereave them of men. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they say unto you, thou land devourest up men, and hast bereaved thy nations. Therefore thou shalt devour men no more, neither bereave thy nations anymore, saith the Lord Yahawah.
So the war's gonna stop, you know. But nah, we could end it there because it's like way more than that.
Yeah.
But at 36 and 24, it gets into how I'm gonna bring Israel back. You know, I will put my laws into the inward parts
yep.
and all. Man, that whole chapter is just beautiful, man. You know, so and that don't apply to you fake ass so-called Jewish people. You Edomites.
Hey, you know it too, man. You know the gig is up. The jig is up.
We wouldn't be out here if it wasn't. Like the Lord set this up. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna close it out.
I was gonna say the Lord set it up through the Spirit and not through y'all. And I mean, we didn't know this was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? This how it is. The Lord set up for it to be randomly just pop up, and the Spirit has been moving ever since.
Hey, you know. So with that, Lord willing, brothers and sisters edified, give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahawah,
Yahawah,
Yahawashai, Bashem, Wakakadash.
All right, shalom to the house of David, man. Stay strong.
They out here partying on the low.